as well. Here we go. A look at what is moving as we head into the 2 o'clock hour. Take-Two Interactive, yeah, still big move down 5%. EA right beside it. Grand Theft Auto getting some negative press, the latest one there. Facebook 2.5% to the upside, helping to offset some of that negativity. Twitter there as well in positive territory, 1.5%. I want to point out this one. We mentioned this on the watch list this morning. Dollar Tree, DLTR, big move, 14% still in positive territory. BBY is here, red, kind of offsetting. There's Wynn and LVS. The hotels are positive, MGM there as well. Some of the travel names bouncing back after some negativity last week. Yeah, Tesla can't get out of its own way. Still quite heavy on the bid for Tesla on the way down today, although we are trying to find a base right now. AMT over here, a little real estate stock also moving around. Tyson Food, a big mover from this morning, 4.3%. Let's quickly have a look at the NASDAQ. Peloton, another 5% in negative territory for Peloton today. I mentioned Tesla, 4.5%. Some of the Chinese names here. JD.com, PDD back to the downside after positive weeks last week. There's the LTR. SPLK, the biggest one over here in the tech group, in the software makers, CrowdStrike team. And the list goes on. So it is a very mixed board overall. Welcome if you're just joining us, guys. Again, we'll take you right through to 4 o'clock. Big week this week for earnings, specifically in the retail sector. We're going to get to what's coming up aftermarket tonight and before the open tomorrow as far as earnings, but we'll discuss some retail names as we do here to kick things off in the close. We're going to get into some of the names that we talked about this morning. If you joined us at 8:30, some of the names that were on the watch list this morning, some opportunities maybe that would have come from those names on the watch list. And we're going to focus on one right now with Sean, who is going to review a trade for us.
Hey guys, today's trade review is going to be Rivian. And look, we have a lot of trades today, as you're going to see a couple fills, but let's just discuss where our mentality was early. We were looking for the long and we found one, but we actually took our first trade short. And the reason why is we actually went back to find, was there a level? We saw Rivian up today, and it's been up. It's up, what is it, 40% now since IPO or more? It was, or around now, 40%. Came out at 106.75, and right now we're at 145. So a nice big bump up, $40 straight to the upside on Rivian. But look what we found here. We actually today, I mean, it's just such a big day. Came in here, and we actually highlight this 135, 136 area as high up as we got there. That was a level. This is from Friday, so I guess Friday late, something like that, 136. I don't know if it actually got up there, but whether or not it was a dark pool or not, there's the mark we looked at. And if you come into today's trade, our very first trade was actually this short. What we wanted was a short into that level. So we actually take it against about 134.50 or so, our very first short. Look at the excitement right off the open. Bang. You get a big red tick here as it sells down into that 124 level. And if you actually check the sticky note, we were waiting for 124 to break. So we should have reversed it to the long side because we don't have a tick down here for 124 break. Okay, comes back in, hits about 126, then it's straight to the upside. We take advantage of this, man. Nice short there. Get that at 134.50, and then we're out right near view up 134. That's a $4 winner. We're actually hoping we hold the last bit. We get out of 2/3 real quick. Then we hold that last bit, hoping for a move to the downside. That does not happen. So we get out right there, 134 back. So small win on the last little part. Then this is where it starts to get spicy. We actually don't believe this move. It comes all the way to the upside. We talked about this last week. Don't get caught shorting ahead of levels that you believe will hold, right? And unfortunately, 140 should have been a try. So we did that. We try 140 here. Doesn't actually hold. So we wind up losing and getting out. But then we tick back out at 142, back down. So there's a couple shorts. This is a losing trade here. Defending 140, getting out at 142, re-shorting them back out at 140. So we make back a little bit. But this is where the mistakes start to happen. Why are we shorting 143? Why are we shorting 144, 145, 146? If you're going to get printed, guys, at 146, guess what? You're probably going to get printed near 150, right? So as stocks begun to trade, they start to levitate towards key levels. That 150 was an easy one. We should not have any of these shorts. So we get out there 147, then this is where the real money starts being made, included where we still have the short rate now. getting 150, getting 150 again, getting out 148, getting out 146, comes back in, taking another 150 fill, getting it out there 147, not 148, then it dips down. We actually didn't take anything out. We probably should have got out there 144, but we're going to hold. We're going to see if we can come back to VWAP. So Rivian right now, just chilling out. We'll see if we can get back to here. My target actually, this is going to sound crazy, but let's see if we can get back to 135, 136 today. So I'll see if Rivian can retest the bottoms. We'll keep shorting ahead of 150. As long as you pick key levels, you should be okay. Take small hits. And look, I go long more than I go short, but when you're at key levels like this, even though it's Rivian, love Rivian. We talked about putting that in the portfolio on IPO. I didn't do it. I hope you did. But here's Rivian struggling now at the top, kind of barcoding. We'll see. I feel like it falls down. To me, the risk right now is holding a long, not holding a short. Why? Because the short has a defined out. So we'll hold this. We'll get some more if it goes back up. But Rivian, to me, perfect. Gave us that trade early. We got in, we got out. That's why you scalp it. And about 10 or so fills later, we're now holding the short. Right now, off 150. So $5 in the money on this Rivian short. Let's see if we can't make it 10. But that's your trade of the day, and I like it.
Yeah, it was a big move for Rivian. And as we saw at the end of last week, the positivity coming in from Rivian, the IPO last week, kind of filtering into other names in the actual sector outside of Tesla. Obviously, we'll talk about Tesla here, but I want to mention Lucent. But before we do, that is the link, guys, if you're looking for an absolutely free resource every single morning. We do all your homework for you and put it into one very neat, organized package. The watch list, it's free every day. Go grab that. Miss V will help you out if you need the link. In the chat, as I was saying, you know, some of the other EV makers, also the charging stations, we'll talk about that coming up here as well. But I want to mention Lucid here because we did test some of the more significant levels from, beginning of last week up here, 45, 80, 46 early on this morning. There's 46 up there, and it's done nothing but kind of just go sideways ever since. So this infrastructure bill set to be signed at some point today. I was just actually sitting here while Sean was doing that review so well, trying to find a time as to when Biden is going to sign this bill. And I can't come up with the actual time as of yet, but it's supposed to be in a ceremony. Typically, these things happen, 2, 3 o'clock kind of in the afternoon. So we'll see if that happens while the market is open. But remember, there's a massive chunk of this bill that is going to go specifically to the EV space and EV infrastructure spending. So that has all of the charging related stocks moving higher today. Blink in particular, wanted to mention, guys, if we can bring Neil and Sean in here, guys. There we go. Blink got the CNBC bounce at lunchtime today, which was pretty impressive. A ton of volume came in. But as I was saying, guys, like we don't have a time for this infrastructure bill to be signed. It's kind of a done deal, is it not, at this point? Yeah. I mean, the formality is just left over.
It's just a formality at this point. I had a line for this, man. If you teed it up and not said blink, I was going to say, but if you blink, you might miss President Biden signing it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm just sitting there like, I get so few actual non-crap puns or one-liners that I had a chance to get one in there. And yes, there was a CNBC bounce on Blink charging. I know across the board there's a lot of things moving, and we'll get into some of them, but most of the EV space has been leading the way for the day trading at least. It got the CNBC bounce. To me, it was a fade off of 44 back into VWAP. I got out at VWAP, and now we're just sort of watching it get back to the downside here. Now, it's almost given up the entirety of that CNBC bounce, which I feel like that tends to be the case, right? Like, it's the news already priced in, and at the end of the day, a lot of times that's just the algos jumping in there and buying it up, and you don't want to get caught holding that bag. If it gets down to 41, 41 and a half, where there was support, I think that's a heck of a lot better if you want to jump into something thinking that maybe, just maybe, there's a bit of a spike. Like, I don't know. It's, like we said, it's a formality here, but I suppose it wouldn't be crazy if there was a little bit of a bounce in a few of these when officially the bill gets signed. I tend not to want to play into that, but for those of you looking at that kind of a play, I mean, Blink has been a bit of a mover so far. Just owning AMC just broke and rejected 43 even. That's up 7%, man. One of the strongest names in the market today.
Yeah, it looks absolutely nuts, and a very, very weak market for NEO today. Like, I don't know what the heck's going on with this stock. We do have a couple theories on this, and we'll talk about that in a couple minutes when we discuss. I mean, Tesla's down 5% as well. So, I mean, NEO down 6%, Tesla down 5%. Some of these other names like Fisker and whatnot. There we go. Is this down 6 really today? I can never tell one by the time this loads up. That's still NEO. What is Fisker down today? 0.33. Okay, so Fisker's actually not down. Check back quickly here on Lucid for a few more names. But yeah, the infrastructure bill is what we were talking about. And I mean, if you're somewhat positive about what President Biden's going to say, I could make a joke like he's not awake yet or anything like that, but we'll see. Hopefully he is, and he's getting ready to sign something, and we'll see what that does. We've already traded Lucid to the long side, made some decent cash on this today. As you guys can see, we actually did get our 45.20, like long. The only we misstepped there, so in and out, in again, miss one, in there, out and out. So Lucid today, very, very positive stock for me, but we'll see if it comes back down to 43.50 here on Lucid. That's another name that we like. So Lucid, Fisker, both positive, and then of course NEO and Tesla. So I don't know why. Again, we will talk about this in a minute, but NEO down today, not nicely, down to $40. This might be a good long here if anybody's looking at that, but I would rather just wait to see when this bill gets signed. This is the daily chart here for NEO. So, you know, still in this range. For me, we're not buying anything until 34, 35, or you take a breakout of 45. So right now we're just kind of stuck in no man's land, as Rivian not getting us stuck in no man's land. This is the short that we have on. We just did that trade of the day or whatever that was. And now we'll come back in here to see if it ticks down to 143.50. I still do have 140 in mind here for Rivian.
Yeah, still lots of attention for Rivian. 40 million shares you can see there still trading at this point this afternoon. We're going to talk about some cannabis names here, but I wanted to mention this first. GE, remember last week the story, GE splitting into three. A couple of analysts coming out today liking that still, essentially going back on that story, increasing price targets. But they also said this, which is kind of interesting. GE Aviation ready to look at acquisitions at this point for General Electric, down on the day. So legislation, not necessarily infrastructure related, but we get confirmation today that yes, indeed, the Republicans going to come with something in the way of legislation for cannabis legalization. We don't exactly know what it'll look like or when it's even going to show up, but more talk today for cannabis legalization from the Republican side of things. 2.3% still for Tilray. I just saw this one, guys. 51 million shares traded on Tilray today.
Monstrous volume. I mean, relatively speaking, because I mean, I've been trading Sundial all day, and that's, you know, done 6 times the shares. But keep in mind, Tilray is like 20 times the price. So Tilray is churning through, and Tilray a heck of a lot stronger. We can get into Sundial in a little bit here. They got their issues in the next week or so because I think they've got till the 22nd. Again, the delisting notice I think gives them till the 22nd. But Tilray just got a bounce minutes ago off of this 13-ish bottom. So 13, is that right? Yeah, it was low. There was low. 13.13 is the actual low of the day here. Double bottom on Tilray. Got to watch out for that bottom to break. Obviously, I mean, it's been pretty orderly, and I kind of wish I had looked at this one in the morning. I was trading Sundial as usual, and then when that bounced off the top, bounced off that bottom, it definitely gave you a nice little bounce trade, like 40, 50 cents. I think if it takes out the low, you still have that 13 even dollar. So I don't like a breakdown trade that much. I think the long almost off there gives you a bit of a better, I guess, risk to reward or to find out, and then room back into VWAP here. So Tilray is going to be worth one looking at. Of course, as usual, Sundial. If it's not gonna make that run, SNDL, Neil. If it's not gonna make that run to $1, which for a couple of days it's not that I don't want to go short. I can get rid of the stop order. I'm not going to need that today. A couple of days I've been playing that fade, pop up at 9:30 and then see what happens, then fade it once it does not make the breakout, and then just hang on to the short. And it's the same result over and over again. The stock is too heavily diluted at this particular point. Yes, they had the buyback. Yes, the earnings weren't that bad, but all the same things are applying for risk. The short interest is not as gigantic as it used to be. That's still pretty sizable. So a breakout would have been nice. It looks like that's come and gone. Now we're back below 80. It just broke 85, by the way, and took some out at 84, and I'm still in it from the morning. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like this one can get out of its own way. And like I said, at some point they're going to risk getting delisted. It's not there yet, but at some point, it has to what to get off the pot.
Yeah, we've been, I mean, you weren't on Tilray, but I was here, and Tilray was pretty good, guys. Here, we just did what Neil was mentioning, shorted some of these pops, some of these drops, and then took advantage of the pops. So good one, not a good tick there. But then, we got it back when we took the 54s and we took this trade all live. Then it drops in and good out. So we are holding a small piece right now. I didn't even notice that it drifted back down here as we were doing it, getting set up there for that trade of the day. It did drift down. I think this is a good level to buy it. It bounced off 13 bucks. I'm along Tilray until we break through 13. So I like that $13 bid there. We've ticked down a couple times. Unfortunately, Tilray is the only name that's up. You can see CGC was, I believe, yeah, it turned red. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on here. This is the name that I prefer, but hey, the only stocks I really hold I hold TrueLeave, which is TRUL on the CSE, which was doing pretty nice today, still making some nice moves, and then CGC and Tilray. So a couple nice names there. I do want to get back into Grow Generation brands, so that's always on my mind too. That's GRWG. Just kind of trying to let that one settle down. Would like it a little bit lower. I just don't trust any of these cannabis names, honestly. Like, I would almost rather just buy this up 10% than buy it now and watch it drop 10% tomorrow. So
there goes Rivian.
There goes Rivian. Yes, sir. $8 winner right now. Let's go. We called this, guys. Yeah. Did you take it?
I took it out of VWAP.
Probably not a bad call, man. I mean, I was waiting for a little bit lower. There it is. We just talked about that. So there it is live on the show there. You just saw Rivian take down. I said I was going to hold a little bit for VWAP, but now I have to remember what I said on that trade of the day because I think that we're looking at kind of that same level from our first take, which was right here, 134, 136. So I'm actually going to put a bid. That's a nice drop down. I think we can put a bid in here somewhere and see if we can get it 139, 138, something like that, to make a $12 winner out of us here on Rivian. But hells yeah, here comes the downside. Flush City on Rivian. We like it. We'll flush down the toilet the stock, not us, because we're still short here $9 in the minute.
All right, guys, let's talk about Rivian because it has been all about Rivian since the IPO. Let's break it down here for a second, though, and do a little comparison, shall we? Because there's obviously other competitors. There's still Teslas of the world. There's still the Neos of the world. So let's actually focus in on those three here in the next few minutes and do a little comparison. We'll talk a little bit about what you need to know about Tesla right now, some key facts, some frequently asked questions that we get anyways about Tesla. And yeah, we'll talk about that Rivian tweet from Elon. Rivian and Neo as well. Everyone kind of puts Neo in the kind of back seat at this point, but should we be is a good question to ask at this point, guys. Let's talk a little bit about not necessarily which one's the best one here, but what do we need to know about all of these three and where maybe should we be focusing?
What, so we can't say which one we think is the best? Tesla.
You can say whatever you want.
No, so look, and obviously Elon Musk, I can show you an article, it's a Forbes article here, but he had a test, he said on Thursday that Rivian's true test would be achieving high production and break-even cash flow. So whether or not you can say it's him throwing a dig out there at Rivian, I don't know. I think a little competitive fire is fine. Obviously, Tesla has gone a little bit further in terms of both delivering, getting to profitability and getting themselves on the S&P. But at the end of the day, I think there are some similarities. The IPOs were vastly different. Of course, Tesla only raising a few $100 million, and Rivian's, generating a few billion there with a massive issue. And both are going to fall into, I guess all three, the entire space, are all falling into that category of bucking, I guess, the old tried and true valuations out there, because Rivian right now, at current valuation, it's just dwarfing your GMs and your Fords, something that Tesla has already done. But obviously Tesla's a little bit more mature, I think, and because of Elon selling shares recently and still doing so, you're getting a massive pullback. And so far, at least, you've been seeing relative weakness in Tesla on days where Rivian is strong. So it might just be that people that have sold Tesla maybe at the top are waiting patiently to get money back in, or some money came out of Tesla to invest in Rivian, which does make Tesla appealing if you want to continue to have these dips. And when Elon's done selling, maybe you can be at 900 and the value might be a little bit better, at least for a swing, than something like a Rivian. But at the end of the day, I think it's just a little friendly rivalry there. Elon Musk, of course, is a supporter of the entire EV space. And everybody knows this. That's his approach. He's like, if you can do it better, that's great. That's good for the world. So, I think he's just having fun with it there. I like Tesla personally. it's tough. I mean, it would be tough for me to buy Rivian at these prices, but I mean, I guess Tesla's not exactly the most reasonable valuation either.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what reasonable is these days? I mean, the world is changing, and I think a lot of people pay for growth and pay for potential rather than realized profits. The interesting thing about Rivian, though, Brendan, of course, is they came to market with that. They raised $12 billion. That's monstrous. They can get a lot done with that. They already have orders of the R1T, which is the truck, and the R1S, which is the sedan. Over 50,000 orders already just sitting there. So hopefully they can be able to fill those with these, production talk there, like Neil was talking about and what Elon was talking about. All it is can you produce enough vehicles to sell? If they can, the orders are sitting there. Not only that, one thing that Rivian has, as I talk about Rivian, I'm short here, 150, but waiting for this to make a $12 winner. This should be a good one, hopefully. But at $9 in the money right now. They have backing by companies that can change, their direction. What I mean by that is Amazon. Amazon's 20% invested right now into Rivian. With that being said, they already apparently have an order for 100,000 electric trucks. Okay, so if Amazon is going to electrify their fleet, I mean, that's monstrous. What's the next deal they're going to get? I know Walmart's talking to Tesla as well, but as all of these, competition and competitors come in, we have Lucid, we have Fisker, we're talking now about Rivian. Obviously, you have Tesla. It goes on and on. There's many more. Workhorse looking for truck orders as well. I believe Rivian, with the backing of Ford, 12%, Amazon, 20%, that this is the one to watch out for. I just like to buy it more near its IPO price, so let's see if it can fall down a bit. But for me, my money at this valuation would be on Rivian.
A lot of people concerned overall with the future, I guess, of Chinese-related names in general. But we have to mention NIO here as well, guys, because this was, a one-time, a bit of a darling when it comes to Chinese EV names. This is a company that was supported multiple times and funded multiple times by the Chinese government, and it looked like the Chinese government was kind of throwing their cards behind, or throwing their vote towards NIO. But we've recently seen a bit of a change. Thoughts on NIO here?
Well, here's a few things about NIO. If you're talking about individual vehicle sales, like BYD and Tesla are the biggest individual vehicles that get sold there. And NIO doesn't even have anything in the top 15 in terms of electric vehicles that are being sold individually. On top of that, look, their battery swap technology is incredibly interesting, and it's a fantastic premise. I think it's really, really cool. But the infrastructure being set out there in China, where they're going to have charging stations, you can drive cross country every like 50 miles or something like that. I mean, the infrastructure is going the other direction, as opposed to favoring NIO's technology specifically. So again, it's just, I'm not sure why this has been the darling. If you had to pick one of these names that's investable, because BYD's not public, I mean, XPeng has certainly been a little bit more impressive. The stock's been stronger. Their delivery numbers are just as good. And NIO's the relative weakness at some point probably does make it a solid bet. But I think some of the fundamentals and that shine of the government supporting them, it wavers a little bit. And as cool as that technology is, it's hard for me to get behind it unless it's just a relative value play if it continues to have that weakness. You can look at the daily chart here, just sort of getting back below that 200 period. When it was in the midst of potentially breaking out with the rest of the space, it then slowed down big time.
The reason why people may like NIO is the same reason why I don't think you should like it. The fact that they're backed and supported by the Chinese government is a big-time thumbs down. They basically kidnapped Jack Ma. We've seen what happened with Alibaba shares. We've seen what's happened with Tencent, with Baidu, with JD, all that. We saw what happened with DD. So for me, I love it. I mean, they, when it was basically bankrupt down here, they came and gave them, I think, an unlimited funding down when it was about $1 or $2. It obviously took off from there, making highs of 65. It's just, the last thing I want is I drop in, a decent amount of cash into NIO. I wake up the next morning and the Chinese government miraculously says that, EV is now a problem of the government, and we're not letting NIO, sell any more cars, or we're going to take them private at a way lower valuation, or I don't know. I feel like the money is safer in some of these U.S. companies. So for me, I'm not going to be an investor in NIO.
Competition never a bad thing in a space that's already quite crowded, I guess, but ever growing as well. So we'll see who ends up on top when it comes to EV names. There's a look at Tesla, Rivian, the hot attention getter right now, guys, and also NIO. All right, let's continue along with the discussion here, guys, on what we were looking at in the morning, because there was a ton, to say the least. Boeing was one of those. A number of positive catalysts, if you want, on Boeing this morning. A couple of new plane orders. There was another business arrangement for Boeing, but ends up being a bit of a non-event. I mean, there was maybe a trade at the open, guys, but nothing to do with after about 10 o'clock this morning.
I mean, it was a stinker for me, if only because I got the wrong break. I liked a couple of price levels there, 28s and then 30s to the upside. Decided to go with the 30 break instead of buying the dip at the open, and then gave it back to that 28 level that I like. And that ended up being an entirely wrong approach, because if you just bought the 28s in front of like maybe the pre-market low, you can see Boeing's back up that 5%. So a lot of times, you know, going with the, it was a relatively weak market. I think this is where the mistake got made. It was a relatively weak market, so the more conservative approach would be to buy the dip. Like, pick your dip price instead of your breakout price in a relatively weak market, and Bob's your uncle. So, you know, kind of learned that lesson there here on Boeing. Now, in terms of the longer term, hey, this is great. This is set up great for Boeing, because you are getting that final break. Well, I mean, hopefully it's got to hold up today. You're getting that breakout through 230. You're getting that break past the 200 period. You know, you're finally getting some positive stories lined up back to back to back. Yeah, certainly. I've said before that I prefer GE a little bit. I know I swapped some shares from selling some Boeing months and months ago, actually at 250. At the time, I sold at 250 some shares of Boeing to get into GE right here in March. And at the time, it felt like a horrible decision. It aged a lot better than you would think. But, you know, that just goes to show, like, you kind of do what you think for the long term, and don't worry about like what happens in a day or two. But finally, Boeing looks like it's on that breakout path. Certainly, there's a lot of levels that it has to churn through, but what a great support it had here at 205 for the foundation of this move, breaking the 50 and now the 200 period above this 230 resistance level. So all systems go here for Boeing. Let's see if it can follow through. You want to look at, on a relatively weak day, what's showing strength, right? And you're seeing it here in Boeing. Just a fantastic sign for this one, because it's been a dog for a while here, Sean.
Yeah. I mean, it's been okay. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Disney without breaking the bottom. So I've been holding this for a long time. I didn't get anything out up there at 250. We've been holding it through this level. I like this 204, 205 area. It did dip down to 190, but no worries, no problem, as you're now taking out some new highs. I think as the world opens back up, they have a monopoly on you know, the planes, and they're going to be getting recovery from the 737. They've been beat down way too much. You get some nice little bottoms here at 205, 206. So, hey, man, I like Boeing. I like it for a while. If they can reinstate the dividend to where it was, I mean, this thing's going to be a monster. I still think it is a monster. So let's hold on to our Boeing shares. We're long in the low 200s here, and we're going to be long forever. We're not going to, I mean, you know, even if it comes to 270 here, we'd still probably hold on. I think Boeing is just a play where you hold for a while. All well here on traveling. As soon as we get open back up, and I know the coronavirus and all this talk is not over yet, and, you know, we hope that obviously it will become soon. But for right now, I do like Boeing, and I will continue to hold that name. Unfortunately, though, in this morning, we talked about it early. It was actually on our list. We were waiting to get in somewhere in here. I felt like when it was up 3 or 4% early, this was too high. So we tried to buy dip buys. We didn't get filled, like Neil mentioned. It did dip down to 227. I wanted much lower than that. So nothing for me on Boeing today. But Rivian, as it still goes, man, we're going to look to crack right now, just because we have this. It's the only trade. I mean, I have PaySafe on. You can talk about that. Oh, we did take Tilray. I'll talk about that in a minute, too. That was a nice 10-cent scalp for Tilray. But Rivian right now trying to crack below, man. I'm wondering if 138 is low enough. I think we could take that, but 138, I mean, I don't want to get rid of this thing, man. Look where we have this. We have it right now. Hopefully it can tick down. There's 139, so we're off this. This is a $10 winner right now on Rivian as planned. So I don't know. It's coming back in. This is at a level where maybe we need to do something about this. 138. Let's put a bid on 138. We can cash $12 on Rivian. We'll do that. So right now, Rivian 138. This looks like a good one for us.
Pinterest, guys, if you remember, popped up about midday, I guess it was, 1250 on my chart is when that huge volume spike came in, took this thing up to 48.5. This was the story. The Saudi Public Investment Fund buying 3.6 million Class A shares of Pinterest. If you remember PayPal, PayPal story got this thing all the way up to 65. So we're well off 65, but this is kind of out of nowhere, I guess, this story that came across a little bit earlier today.
Yeah, little rando, definitely. But look, whatever. It's going to cause a bit of a move here through 48. It's worth remembering where the stock was before the whole PayPal. I guess you can call it a fiasco. I think it's kind of. I think it was kind of.
I'm down
a fiasco.
with that terminology.
Yeah, it was. It's definitely a fiasco. And I think if it gets back into that range, probably going to be a bit of a barcode. I suppose they see some value there. I tend to think that one of the best bets for Pinterest is going to be potentially that someone sees a value in them, whether it's like, I don't know, I keep thinking Walmart at the back of my mind. That would make some sense, but maybe they don't care. And maybe that's a way to unlock some value. You're ever going to get that $70? And I'm kicking myself because, personally, I remember when that deal came, when the supposed deal was coming out, the news, I was saying to myself, the second it's firmed up, I'm selling Pinterest. I'm selling the last of my Pinterest shares. I don't care. Once they firm the deal up, you'll be able to get hopefully like 68, whatever. And should have just taken the win at 65, 66. And I've learned that lesson, right? And again, forget about your cost base. Forget about how much you have. It's the principle. Principle is priceless. And I got wrapped up in that whole notion of who cares? It's just sort of playing with house money from a pandemic low buy. That doesn't mean you should throw all this away. So if it gets a move back into that 50 to 52, I think it's going to barcode and probably have a little bit of resistance and chop in that range. I just feel like if, with the nature of the market, you have the 10-year boom into the upside, you get relatively weak in some of the tech names there. It's hard to see Pinterest getting too far off the schneid, and that's not the first place I think people are going to put money in. But hey, clearly somebody sees some value, but maybe they know something that we don't. I just want to come to, if I can, just to go to another stock. It's AMC. Double top here at 43. This is 43 even. It pulled back hard off of this 43 into the previous high of the day, 42.35 or so, and retesting 43 even for a potential break. I like this in both directions. Like, I'll take a breakout long at 43, but if that can't extend, I got no problems jamming back and thinking about a short reversal if it's a failed break. Sometimes being in the failed break is a little easier to dissect it in real time, but AMC getting close to that top. Great day, up 7%. I'd like to see the volume pick up a little bit to take a few more shares long 43, but I'm going to play this in either direction here on AMC. Definitely one of the better movers today.
Yeah, AMC rocking right now. Good trade there for AMC. Just an update on, I know we're going to go over some of these names as well, but bye-bye Tilray. You are right, Omar. Bye-bye Tilray. So we get out there at 13 break. This, thank God. I mean, it was funny because just a couple of minutes ago, literally, I was tweeting like, oh, okay, or not tweeting, posting on here, quick scalp on Tilray, and we were able to get it out here for 10 cents. Long 15s right back to the same level, out at 24.25 there, but then it dropped back down. So we make 10 cents, lose 15 cents. So that last spot there on Tilray, and again, we're all about telling you what's good and what we're actually trading here. So that was obviously there a hit for me on Tilray as it did come back in, cracking through that 13. So there's an example of just trying to be as honest as we can out there. And I tweeted when we got out, and then, or not tweeted, mentioned to you guys that when we got out, and then right now back out on the final position. So we are flat on this one. And I just said, like, Rivian just went down, man, to 139, 138.75 there. We didn't get it out. So now I'm wondering if that was maybe a mistake. We might have just been a little too greedy on how far we wanted that to go. We basically nailed it right into this level, but we gave it, 80 more cents on a $12 winner? So, I mean, probably should have been thinking about taking that out a little more aggressively than we were. So right now, Rivian finding some levels here. I'm going to try to sort this thing out, but I'm really debating on a 142 break right here that we'll just get out. So 142, we'll get out of Rivian. Otherwise, we'll see if we can get our, 136, 137, something like that. So 142 new out for Rivian.
One of the highest mentioned EV stocks going into the weekend on Friday was actually this Gores Guggenheim, which is Polestar, obviously. Huge move higher on Friday on, I was pointing at the volume down here because monster volume on Friday. Not so much today, but we are, coming back down. It's funny how you see Rivian right there kind of rolling over, coming back to the downside. Tesla trying to do the same. This GGPI, gave you another $2.50 range, I guess, today, but still up nicely, 15% for Polestar, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting one for me today because I've had like back and forth success with it. I did take a long initially off the open, got a small win, and then took a hit on the rest. A great reversal. It went 15, got retaken to the downside, all the way down to 14 even. Then shorted off the double top high at 15.50. That was pretty good. Reversed into a long. That also worked into the high of the day. I did stop out thinking this was going to continue through on the last quarter of the position there, and then it actually fell through. So you're coming right back into the bid. It's holding this nice higher low, and obviously down to 1450 here. You can see earlier on in the session. This is about like 11 o'clock when we went off in the morning show and sent you guys to Memes and Movers with Trader Pratt and Miss V. And as long as it can hold that, I don't think it's necessarily done, but look, it was a hard wipeout top there if you look at that 1650 level, and you got to think about how well this is done on the way up. So some kind of consolidation could be in store. I mean, you love for it to be at that 1450. I'm just not convinced it's not going to be a little bit closer to Friday's high in this 14 from the bottom, because when the short was so good and then it just turned on a dime at 14 even. So I think I'd have a little more confidence that it might test that 14 even than thinking this 1450 is going to hold up going into the close. I did get into AMC here on the breakout trade, guys. Whoops, that's AMC's on the New York, Neil. On that breakout trade at 43 so far. I mean, it got up to like 04s. I mean, I got an 02 long there. Come on, load. It got an 02 long. It hasn't really threatened on a pullback. Like one tick came down to 42.87. That's not really a heck of a lot. Like if it had really dropped down to like the 3/4 mark or something like that, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But it looks like it's holding the top. The volume's okay. It's not great at this particular point, but no reason or cause for concern just yet to get out of it. I'd like to see it go in the next minute or two here. Otherwise, it might be one of those potential fail breaks. There it goes. The volume's starting to pick up now. I'll take some out in front of the quarters and the 50s because that whole game that we do. But there's a little bit more time for this to run, right? Like this is still 90 minutes or just under 90 minutes until the close. And AMC, when you look at it on the higher time frame, right, you got 45 here. That's certainly it's on its way to. It does seem like you could do that this week, back through that 50 period. There's some resistance on the way up, but one of the stronger movers in here today. So want to see if we can't ride this into the close.
Yeah, I mean, on Polestar, I haven't traded it today, GGPI, but we have traded Lucid a little bit, just buying some of these 4450s. I mean, we're sort of done nothing here besides move up and then just kind of relax in this area between 4350, 4380 to 4450, like just bouncing around in here. You get some highs, some lows. So I, may want to try to pick this up if it comes a little bit lower. But Lucid was another name here today that we traded pretty good, and I do like this name. But look at that, some nice size right there on this offer. We'll see what happens right now if it gets taken out or not. No, that's probably not that significant. We've done 52 million shares. If you're joining us for the first time, these are 100 shares. So that's 500 shares. Every time you see that's 50,000 shares. So any number that you see on here, these are live level twos. So if you see a number on there that's somewhat significant, sometimes you'll hear Neil and I yell about like, oh my God, there's 5 million or something. Like that might be something with 10% of today's volume. This is 1% of today's volume with 50,000. So that's not going to be a significant order, but right here near 44, this could be something. Well, I mean, I'm going to try to scalp a little quick short here on Lucid using 44 as my out, guys.
You want to talk about Palantir here, Sean? There's still a few people I've seen discussing this PLTR, trying to break back higher, in fact, right now. That last high was about 23.30. This was the headline this morning. Palantir teaming up with this Big Bear AI, artificial intelligence software maker. So, I mean, this is a great trade this morning through that pre-market high.
Yeah, I mean, look, we talked about Palantir earlier, right? Defending this 23 level. So yeah, we got this and we nailed this, right? We had this one big time trade for us earlier today, going on the pre-market break right away at 23.05, and then identifying this level that we liked. I have to go probably do a 20-minute chart. This 23.20 area right here, breaking out. This is the top right here. So we topped out on Thursday. We topped out on Friday at that level. And then today we break in and we go up to the upside. We hit as high as 23.50, which of course we have executions up there. So there it is right there. There's 23.50 getting out of the majority of those. And when you're looking back, when levels start to come into play that we've already seen here, this is getting us out. Like if it comes to 23.50, really the high side is 70. So we hold a little bit there to see. I don't know if we're going to fill that gap. And that's what we did. We held a little bit. It came back in. We got some out at 35 there. 35 again on the way back up. Got out once it broke this level. Got back in. Lost. the one last time. This was live on the show as this was happening, so that was a problem. And then since then, we haven't gotten back in. So I'm still looking at this break right now. We're going to go long right here if it does break it. This is 23.34. So we're going to try to go long here, 23.35 or so on Palantir. That's going to be the next spot. But yeah, look, more deals, more money. Hopefully Palantir can get going. Every time there's good news, it seems to get smacked down a little bit, but it's still holding up pretty good. I like this trade as a longer term position. It is in here. You know, next time we get up to 30, we'll probably cash it out. We were waiting for earnings day, which obviously came and not positively, so we had to get, it's in here. We got dumped out a little bit on that, making a nice base, protecting 23. So I like Palantir moving forward. We'll try a long through 23.35.
Just watching another stock here, Peloton, which down 4%. I mean, it broke that low from last week, and since those earnings have come through, it really hasn't been able to find a bottom. You would have liked to see it hold that low. And when you go way back here, I mean, the daily chart, you got to start talking about 2020, obviously. And then there's $39, which I think is going to be a bit of a level if it can even get there. And then 45, which is going to hold up maybe in the next day or two. So that's starting to get tested a little bit. So Peloton's on my radar. We're just sort of casually watching this one. I did ring the Reggie a little bit there on the first leg of AMC. And I mean, I can't speak to how, and again, those are going to want to talk about the fundamentals for AMC. I can't speak too much to their I guess optimism that this last quarter in terms of box office sales is going to be able to get them to some of their targets, simply because I think the last time we talked about it, I was like, yeah, but pre-pandemic, I think it was like 2019. It had like Rise of Skywalker. There was a couple of other big blockbusters there. I don't know whether you're going to have anything with that kind of staying power, but the momentum is still nice, and it's definitely going to be tradable. I took some out in front of that 20 top that it currently has. I'm offering in front of 40s instead of 50s here. Just whatever. Like, if it's going to stall out the first 20 cents, I'll kind of make the guess that it'll stall a little bit. If it breaks through 2025, it'll maybe check up there a little bit at 40 as well. So 43.40 that is. So AMC sold to the long side. Still want to hold on to a piece of it as it runs into the close, and the market probably not going to matter too much here. The corner of your eye, you want to make sure we're not absolutely falling to oblivion, but it's been a relatively weak market all day with AMC still going up, so I'm not too troubled by that dynamic.
I just want to give a warning here. Like, I'm not sure we can trade right now because I just got a pending order. Greg is on it for me. This broke through 142, and we should have got out. My stop order went through to get me out, so I may or may not. It's showing me still in Rivian, but just let everybody know I do have a 142 bid out there. I don't want to get this out right now because I don't want to get overfilled. So we're going to find out from Greg. He's a busy guy. I mean, there's a lot of different orders to check out right now. So all these orders right now going pending in our system. So if you are part of Day Trade the World, just you know what to do. Go to IRC, go out there, try to find out if your orders are pending. But I just want to give everyone an update. I feel like I should be out of this, so we'll wait. My rule was 142. It broke through 142, so anybody that's like sitting there thinking, that I'm trying to, pull a fast one or anything, I'm not.
Is the Rivian stop?
It's Rivian, yeah.
Do you want me to?
I mean, Greg's on it. Don't do anything.
That's fine.
So hopefully that'll happen. It's already no. It's not the stop you're talking about. No, that's a 152 stop.
Okay.
So that didn't trigger. So I did have a stop order up here, but I did have a 142 that went out, and I got all this gook. So that should be it. But we'll go back over to Brendan as we'll try to figure out our order execution over there.
Yeah, I was just noticing more than just ARCA doing that for me as well, guys. So heads up. Palantir we talked about. Wanted to mention this. This is kind of an interesting story. If you remember, this is going back a month or so ago, there was this, the Hollywood union members were threatening to walk off the job once again, which essentially would have shut down production once again on all of your favorite TV shows. But happy to report they have just approved this new contract, narrowly approved this new contract, which will keep some of these shows still in production. I mean, we could tie this, I guess, to Netflix, Disney, Comcast, even if you really wanted to. But I'm just more happy that, we just sat through a year and a half of no TV because of the pandemic. If you go back before that, there was the writers' strike, if you remember, that shut down production on TV shows for better part of 2 years, I think it was. So it looks like this union has come to an agreement.
Which is definitely a good thing. We need to get our content out there, man. I like to see I need some new stuff to watch, although I was just telling Sean, if you haven't watched Bosch, to get on the Bosch train. Bosch is a great show.
Not the Chris Bosch.
By the way, but not Chris Bosch.
Shout out to Miami and the Raptors and That's the only two teams he played on? I believe so. Left us, went to the Heat. Yeah. I take my services to South Beach.
I don't think he went anywhere else. I think you're right about that. I think you're right. Chris Bosh, a Raptors legend, but
heart murmur.
Certainly, oh goodness. No, but certainly, yeah, it could work for Disney there a little bit. But one of the names that might matter for when it comes to any kind of, I guess, a union action has been John Deere, which it's kind of a weird segue to go from that to this, but it has mattered because they just got another. Last time there was an agreement with the union, it kind of fell through. It bounced up, and then it flushed right back down to like 350, and now we're back above. John Deere, of course, is going to benefit from the infrastructure bill as well, so you have both these things going for it. I think it's pretty well poised that if this is true and they finally have made an agreement here to avoid the action, I guess the strike action, and you could be breaking out through 365, so hopefully it gets that little bit of a double dip action there. And AMC, oh, why? You're doing so well, AMC. It just got to that 20 mark again, and like over and over again, it just continues to try to get through that 3/4 and then pulls back. So we'll see what happens. If it can hold a 43 level here, I think it's still churning to go. I might take a consolidation off of 43 to add to my long position, thinking this can continue to break out. But we'll see what happens. Execution back.
Yeah, so I have good news and bad news. And the good news is, and this is the thing, let's talk about this now. I don't know if this is going to affect many of you out there because your platform is going to be different than ours and vice versa. But you see, this fill just came in now. So, like, I mean, it was filled at the time when we had the outage, but there it is, like it just got out and filled. So, or I guess it wasn't filled. I don't know where this fill came from, but the point is my order did wind up going pending, and I did get the fill. So, after all said and done, we did get that fill, and I just want to tell people, like, if I had bought it again, like, because I was panicking sometimes, and I know it sucks, and it's very, very time sensitive, and I want to give a big thank you to Greg as well, who was working on this. So thank you so much to Greg for that. But it's like when you know that someone's looking at your order and trying to figure it out, you know, like, don't panic, just let the order settle down. There it is for Rivian. It looks like, after all, we will take that out at that level, and it is just a, let me find the fill here. So it's an $8 winner there on Rivian. What happened to Tesla?
Tesla just bounced hard to 1,000.
Ooh, what? Yeah, okay.
Am I throwing away money shorting in front of
Big
1,000?
move up for Tesla, big move up for the NASDAQ there. So not really sure what's going on with that. Oh, I guess my Palantir, I had a 35 order to go on Palantir as well. Okay, that didn't hit yet, so okay, so that should still be okay. Yeah, Tesla way to the upside, but there it is, man. Nice little win for us. Obviously, we wish we had taken it out a little bit lower. We called 138. We got a little too greedy. We were very, very close to getting out. It goes to 139, but there's our out right there at 142. So a little bit of a mishap, but thank you to Greg. And thank you to the team at Day Trade the World for getting that execution.
Absolutely.
To be able to execute. Cocoa. I want to talk about this cocoa stock. A few people were mentioning this Vita Cocoa. Keeps popping up here on volume, even at this point this afternoon. On the NASDAQ, I want to say, Cocoa. I'll refresh on the story here, guys, but one that I know Trader Prad was looking at a few times, COCO.
I think someone just opened a can of Coke potentially there, Trader Pratt. But Cocoa, I did trade this stock, by the way, when it went parabolic into 1880. Well, 1860 it looks like here actually, and then a consolidation lower. I was able to get some out of VWAP. I then reloaded at 18. Was that, did they just show Pratt? I don't know. I just heard him open a can at the same time we're talking Cocoa, but anyways. It then made a double top. I should have had this short at 1850 one more time. Instead, you're going to see it fall without me here. Double bottom, 1685. Looks pretty juicy if that got taken out. Still up 19% on the session, but when you look at it, I mean, obviously you can see what sort of happened here. If it gets to that 17 and then breaks back down, that's what that previous high is on that daily. And I think that's why it could be under some trouble if it rolls over any further. You get a hard double top and then break VWAP, break support, and then break the same breakout level at 17. It might be done for the day, but right now, what's stealing my attention's over here at Tesla, right? Like, it's just, Tesla was doing absolutely nothing all day. Now, of course, it was a good short that I got out too early. We liked the short in the morning and didn't find my way into it until we got like a 1,000 break and then reload in front of VWAP at 1,005. And I like 980 as a target. I didn't hold it to 980. Still a good stock for me on the day, but missed opportunities. Now it's getting a bit of a bounce here. So, hey, Tesla can't die. Back above of that 1,000 range in the morning. It did stall out right here at 1,006. Before rolling over. Finally, this was right at about 10 o'clock or so. So let's see what happens as it tries to get through that range. I kind of don't want to jump in front of this moving sword. A lot of times I look at a level like that and be thinking like quick scalp trade, like get 05s in front of 06, but I'm not going to be throwing away my day shorting Tesla. That was a good trade this morning. That's a strong move on big volume on Tesla here, and I'm going to guess it's probably dragging a few things with it here, of course, as we were just talking about Tesla, NIO, and Rivian. NASDAQ's coming back up, NIO, 50 cents, I guess, up. It's not really a heck of a lot. It's just mostly Tesla.
Yeah, not really there. We'll wait. I mean, I'm not going to hop into anything based on Tesla. I mean, we have Brendan right there. So if there's anything comes through on Tesla, I'm not seeing anything just on a basic news feed that I have here. So we'll wait to see if that comes out. Anything? Probably not. But nice little break. I'm wondering if they just, here, we can call it up. Why do I still have Rivian on? Sorry. I thought I was looking at Tesla. Like, I mean, I should say probably not, but this is like straight up, basically barcoding all the. I figured if we were still trading around 1,000, then maybe it was just a run to the 1,000 there, but it looks like the volume is still here on TSLA. So I don't know, guys. Maybe there's a bounce here or not. Did Biden? No, I was going to say, did he finally?
Did they sign? Or?
I was going to say something else, but did he finally get pen to paper on this one? But I don't know. Tesla's still going. We could check stocks that we already own, like a Nucor or something like that. I mean, look, yeah, 109, 110. I mean, I don't think so. Blink, what's up, Dominic in the Packers Nation? We would be 9-1, like. Damn it, Captain COVID. I'm always going to call him that. But if he cost us a home game, I'm going to be. Anyways, without him, we'd be nothing anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
True.
Blink, as you can see by Jordan Love, although we lost to Kansas City by a touchdown, and
they're overrated.
Let's just move on. Blink with a nice move upside. I think this is going to be an infrastructure winner. They've kind of given that to you here. You know, nice bottoms, 27 up. Just watch out for Blink, man. And it's going to be fun at 46, 47, which we're getting close to right now. So Blink charging on my radar as per usual. But that Tesla move, Brendan, we just await you because honestly, and no pressure. I don't think there is anything on this. I don't see anything.
Technical break?
We could go through Twitter here. This may be a good short at this point. That's my thought.
Couple of things that just popped up, just talking positively. There was a price change on the Model Y. Seeking Alpha talking about not only how exposed ARK is, but actually breaking down the individual ETFs and talking a little bit about how each one is exposed to Tesla. And even with those sales that we saw from them going back a month or so ago, not even, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, but that was the latest there, just at 250 that just came out, just talking about, again, how ARK is exposed to Tesla, breaking it down into the 3 ETFs.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's a strong move. I guess I wish I had found a spot to fade it.
Go, hell yeah.
Well, the Packers, they've got a great defense.
What up, Shannon?
Bills are going to wreck them if they see him in the Super Bowl. Although we'll both be happy just to see them.
I mean, the Bills will just sign up, get ready for a field goal, and then we all know what's going to happen to that one. And then the Packers will be once again lifting up the Lombardi Trophy. Neil.
Don't hate on. Look, man.
I
will be thrilled if those two teams make it. I think it'd be fantastic. That would be one of the most exciting.
I mean, we used to be Bills season ticket holders, and then we got married with kids and everything like that, and then squashed that. But we do like the Bills for sure. But the
That's not the reason we stopped going. Is that? I guess it was around that time. Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't know. If anybody's there in Lambeau, I'll let you know when I'm around. Hopefully we can catch a game. I love tailgating. I've been to Lambeau twice. Unreal.
That's one thing Canada gets wrong, right?
Well, it's illegal.
Well, that's exactly my point.
Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. You can't tailgate.
Crazy.
You can't.
Crazy. You guys
outside.
are like, really? Yeah.
You can't even. And then the thing is, the government, they sort of. When we had the Bills here, what they were doing. This is a trading show, by the way. When they had the Bills here, they cornered off a part of the parking lot to which you could drink, but guess whose beer you're buying? I mean, that's the whole point. I was like, what's the point? Like, I want to tailgate for $10 a beer? No, just slam those back for whatever it is. Anyways, let's move on. Blink charging, still a nice name, and here comes Tesla right back into 1,000 again. I think you could probably punch the 1,000 short if you really did like it. No news on this, just must be infrastructure. I'm never going short Tesla, really. I mean, I probably will, but this isn't enough for me. It had to get back up here, 1020, 1018. It's just, the risk is definitely, guys, on
Yeah.
Tesla right now to the upside. I don't know what that started, but if you did go long, I guess you can get out near VWAP or even 1,000 break. But I'm going to tell you, it's going to break 1,000 coming up.
Yeah, and by the way, that fail break on AMC. Now, I didn't get into the short. I guess I should have been back into it when I stopped out here at 75. So we'll take some on the winning side, and then we'll take the rest on small loser, obviously, because we're going to lose 25 pennies and we make 20 on the other end. So it's a small hit up there on AMC. I would have liked to see this continue. It did dip down once to 42.35 here. So if it can hold this level, maybe you don't have to worry too much about VWAP. But Tesla starting to come back. I mean, there's 1,000 on the bid right now. We'll load up a little bit. 1,000 on the bid right now, but you still have VWAP and what was resistance around 92 to 95 for the rest of the session. I mean, for the majority of lunchtime, pretty much all lunchtime, that was that resistance level. I kind of like the support. Yeah, I kind of like that for support more than just randomly staking 1,000. So I'm not going to jump into that just now. But I did notice, like Blink, as you were talking about it there, it got pretty close to the levels I was shorting it before. I do want to be a bit more patient this time and only wait for that test of 44 even. Let's see if it can't get to the top and then see what happens there. And then obviously there was also GGPI, Polestar, which you look at that overall space, no bounce at all. So I guess rising tide didn't lift all ships there as Polestar just continued to churn through. And like I said, I prefer looking at this at $14 today to buy the dip and see if we can make an actionable trade instead of trying that $14.50. So far, that looks like it was the right call. But I don't like the fact that it caught no bounce there, right? Like it didn't get dragged up an iota. Not at all when Tesla started screaming to the upside. Blink did. I bet you if I looked at FSL, maybe it made a bit of a move there. But disappointing, the GGPI looked relatively weak. I'm not sure what Rivian did. I kind of took that one off my radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't bounce that much
called
either.
It up as well. Yeah, nothing. Nothing there on Rivian. I don't know, Brendan, you still got some more? Or do you want me to keep going here?
I can talk about Twitter here, guys. A bit of a move for Twitter today. They announced this acquisition of Threader, an app that compiles different threads if you wanted to into one. This all has to do with Twitter Blue, which is their paid service that is launched apparently in the US and New Zealand for some strange reason. Side note, we're working on a new segment that's going to be possibly this week. All goes well, maybe Wednesday or Thursday of this week, where we're going to look at news stories in this sense from a higher perspective, get a little more insight, talk a little bit about from a macro perspective, what something like a Twitter Blue means for a Twitter, for example, in the long run and short run, things of that nature. So that is to come, guys. But Twitter having a nice day still here, 1.7% to the upside, just bounced nicely off 53.
All I heard was sound like there was more work involved there for our new segment,
Brendan.
but no, we're just playing around. Yeah, I think more macro is always good because sometimes we do take a very specific look at things that affect us as day traders. We don't look as investments for the long hauls there. So I do like that call. Good look on that one, Brendo. But we can look at Twitter.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I don't have anything to do.
No, I was going to say, I know we're just talking about Twitter, but this MTTR, again, making a bit of a run at this lower high, 27.20. Now, it's spiked up and failed at 27.50. It's been, someone was saying it's literally the quietest 22% that you'll ever see in the market. And I would tend to agree. It's been a bit of a sleeping giant all day long, although at the morning it was parabolic, and then it got another big move. Trader Pratt and Miss V were on at lunchtime. And then it's been another slow climb to that 27.50 high. With the market heading back up here, it's sort of barcoding off of this lower high, which is usually a pretty good setup for a rollback into VWAP. I'm going to be looking at it in that respect. Like if it pops up and fails 27.50, I'm out. Oh, sorry, I'm going to be looking for a short there. If it holds this consolidation, maybe fails a break at 27.25, then I might short the 27 even and give it to that lower high. So definitely on the radar is Tesla. Wow. Okay, so I mean, I guess just buy it at 1,000 was the way to go instead of waiting for VWAP. Tesla's off to the races, man. Now 1,017. Now the pre-market top.
We talked
what are we
about
looking
that,
at
man.
here? Like that, yeah. The pop open was like what 24s. So maybe 20 to 24 could be where you're going. But wow, what an absolute! This is a huge move on Tesla here. On essentially, I don't know, nothing.
I mean, is it nothing or
Technical break? I don't know.
It could also have been the fact, I mean, I don't even have Tesla up here. Let's just keep looking at this. I mean, it could be the Joe Biden thing. Like, I don't know
could be,
if the infrastructure deal has, I mean, how could that be how could that be a surprise? Like,
no.
I don't know. Maybe it's breaking down. Maybe we're right in a level where I just heard a short call back there. I'm thinking that this might be a decent spot for a short as you come up to these highs that we've already reached in the pre-market right here, 1,022. This could be a good play here for Twitter.
The question is Valeria short.
Yeah,
I think that's what I heard. I think I heard Trader Pratt yell out short Miss V.
Yeah,
so I don't know whether that means she's got it. Miss V, if you got this one at 20. A, Godspeed, because it's shorting Tesla, but B, if it is the top, that could be, I mean, it could just come right back to 1,000 or even 1010 here. I mean, I'm starting to look at it at some of these pre-market levels and say, why not take a shot at it? Crazy move up here with just an hour to go. Talk about power hour. Yeah, this got lit in a hurry. It was doing absolutely nothing all day long. This was one of those days where Tesla was the sleepiest stock in the market. Well, I mean, relatively speaking in the market and having a weak day. So that's a monster move here.
Yeah, we're going to, we also just got in a new trade alert. We'll see if we can't put some money. Whoopsies. We'll hit the siren there. Let us know if some of these graphics are a little too loud or not loud enough or whatever. But there it is. We'll ring the register here on Palantir up to 40. We took a 35 break. This is what we like right now on This Name is Palantir for a nice little long. I mean, let's go over right now. I don't know if you're watching this, but apparently it's going off right now. Tesla, hold on. I got to get back over. Yeah, 1022. So taking out some of those pre-market levels right now. Guys.
This is insane. Tesla, hold my beer, man. Like, this is ridiculous.
It's only insane, I feel like, because we don't know what's going on. Like, it's not an insane move for Tesla.
No, it isn't, but it's just, why? I said hold my beer, so I got to give you guys the graphic. You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Why, Tesla? Why are we not long? I mean, this would.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. You'd think we're a trading show.
Long?
What's up, Brendan?
Simple as, guys, Elon is no longer on the offer. Just saying. Maybe he has completed his selling.
Is that came out?
I didn't think he was done.
That's a good enough reason for me.
No, that would be a good enough reason. I'm fairly certain he still had some shares to sell, but this maybe that's exactly what it is here. But wow. Now 10:30. I mean, what are you doing? Like, every single break is working on Tesla. I'm gonna go to my 15 here because you start thinking about, okay, where can it slow down? Where can it consolidate? 1040 was a decent level before, and if we're talking about another $10 here, that's already impressive enough as it is. I did get that NTTR short, so it did fail to get to break out that 2720. I'll give that to the quarters, but I'm short there at 2692. But it's Tesla now at 1,030 and looking to try to go green on the session, which will happen at 33.5.
33.5, yeah, okay. Palantir's trying to wake up as well from the dead here. We take a nice long, obviously, on Palantir. Takes them out for 5 cents. It's small. It's not $5 like it should be on our Tesla friend there, but a nice move up here for Tesla. And it turns out that we had a good out on Rivian as well. Just checking back on them. 140. We know we had the execution problems, but we still get the 142 like we talked about. So that's looking like that's a good out. And then our PaySafe also breaking out. I mean, PaySafe, look, one trade today, 430, right? We took it at 950. Look at the trade. It's not going to be here, but we have that same trade right here on Friday that we took long. So PaySafe today makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of dollars, not cents today for us on PaySafe, as that's still working out. So I like the way this is trading for us. I don't think we're going to break out. We have a very, very small piece left. We did take that out at 44. We talked about that. Out the majority here, and now a small piece left on PaySafe if that's trying to go. Did you eventually take that short, man? Like, what is?
I didn't take Tesla, and I mean, it got to 36, it looks like, or it was 33. Maybe it stalled out when it tried to go positive. But then, of course, Blink. On the other end of the spectrum, well, I guess it's not the other end of the spectrum. Blink just broke the high of the day, and it's starting to go as well. Now, Tesla, which is now down $10 from that high, and this is just a sympathy, like this is just the entire space going, I would tend to think that Blink might have some trouble at that $45 mark, which is certainly coming into play. That's that level on the daily chart, of course,
right.
That you can sort of see here. So I think Blink is going to be a bit of a turn. I'm going to get into this. Tesla's already moved $10. Actually, you know what? I always do this. Let's like talk, and then miss out on the entry point. Because I could have just had this at 44.40, and now I'm basically sitting here trying to chase it a little bit. So if we see if I can get the short. Tesla now at 1,022, so it pulled back a good $10 there from the high before turning positive. Now back down 1%. So I'm going to sit there and get some shares here, hopefully on Blink. Charging. So it's Blink I got short and MTTR. We'll see what happens. If Tesla does pull back into VWAP, I can't see any way that Blink can't at least go to like 43 and a half.
No, samesies, as they say. A nice little crack down here for, I don't know who says that, but someone does. As we go down, samesies, I don't know. I just want to talk about Ethereum quickly here because we are starting to bleed a little bit on Ethereum, and it's not, I don't want to, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said like to create people to have some sort of a panic. It has been coming down. 4,800 basically the high today. You're down to 45.46, the low is 45.50, but we are looking at testing that rate here, some of these bottoms. So I don't think that really matters. The market's up right now. Crypto basically flat on today. You can see Bitcoin 0.17, Ethereum still up 1% apparently. So what was a good run for crypto, still there. Here's Bitcoin right now. You can see still pulling back, but we just made a nice move up. So I just wanted to look in on crypto right here quickly for you guys to see what's going on. Shiba Inu still 5.5 or 5.3, something like that. Where's Shiba Inu? Here it is right here, 5.44. So right in the middle, still up 3.6% on the day. So yeah, all is well so far anyways in crypto land, and I bet you it stays that way. So let's just keep on trucking here with some of these plays, guys. All right, so Palantir back to 40. I'm waiting for 45.50. If I can get this all out near 50, we'd be happy. We'll try to hold a little bit of a flyer into that level if we can for that trade. Coming upside for Palantir. So that's my newest position. We don't have anything else on other than continuously looking at, okay, Tilray does bounce. We talked about that. That's going to look like a horrible out, but that's the trade that we wanted. So we'll put that there and see what happens. Other than that, man, shorted Palantir. Someone did. Okay, I think that's probably fine. We're just going to give this one, back. I don't know. We won't give this back to here. What am I long at? 35, yeah. Maybe back to VWAP 25 or so. We'll give this about 10 cents. We're just trying to make 10 cents, 15 cents on the high side. So hopefully Palantir can go. We'll see what these futures are doing. But look what's happening now. Fade back in, right? So that bump on the NASDAQ, or that bump on Tesla definitely gave the NASDAQ a bump there. I just hope that we're not caught on Palantir.
I'm thinking hopefully that resistance from the morning that was a good short at 06, and then if you look at that high here at like 08 half, like if that can turn into some support, because I just saw like Blink just stopped out. At least MTTR is working to the downside, but that's unrelated. Blink just stalled out by taking out the top, so I'm out of that one to the short side, and actually thinking about buying the dip here in Tesla. Like if you're not going to be able to pick that top, and I didn't like the notion of that 133 enough to just sort of jump in front of it just because it was the whole positive to negative or negative to positive story, and then you could find resistance there. That was almost too random, but certainly something around this 106 to 110 level from the morning, which was, I guess more along this level here, that would be pretty good on a dip in terms of structuring a trade, because if I can't structure a trade, I don't want to jump into this too willy-nilly. MTTR, I do have a bid out trying to catch some in the next couple of pennies or so to make some profit on the way down to VWAP. I want to make sure I'm taking profit. There's now less than an hour for Sean and I to get flat. If you're joining for the first time, Sean and I are day trading, and we have to be flat, all of our positions out at the end of the day, literally on this bid here in MTTR, trying to take some profit out.
Yep, so that's part of it. We give the thumbs up and the thumbs down there because you know what? Sometimes being out at 4 o'clock actually has its benefits. You don't have to like sort of hope and pray that something happens after market or something like that. So I think it does have its benefits and its negatives as well. But so we'll see here. Palantir, sleepy time on that one. What about Twitter? Brendan talked about Twitter earlier, and then we got sidetracked with that move in Tesla, of course. Wow, Rivian back to 146. Let me just make sure they don't have any stuck or
150 stop.
Pending orders there. No, so I canceled that 150 stop when you mentioned it. Okay, so here's Twitter barcoding, a nice drop down. And again, we're looking for trades, and I just don't think it's going to be here. We only have 50 minutes left to trade, as Neil just mentioned. So unless there's some sort of an actionable event here for Twitter, I don't think this is going to be something that we get into. It's just bounced off 52.90, so that could be something there as well. But maybe a 53.20 break or so on Twitter. From what I can see from what I can see by the prices, it's pretty depressed right now, down into the 50 area. Not a great spot there for Twitter. So we'll wait to see what happens now on the upside, but this is a good bouncing spot. I know Kathy Wood has been buying that. I know that's part of the story there. So we'll see if Twitter bounces off 50 or not, but that's a good level. It's been beat down recently, just like Snapchat. So watch out for some of these. They took it on both these companies sort of took it on the chin. With the new Apple iOS and some of the privacy issues coming through and sort of blocking. You see this horrible move down here on Snapchat earnings when they talked about that and how that's been negatively affected them. So, but your rate in spots, like again, shout out to Lucas or anybody that's sort of starting to build a position right now. Snapchat's right at a level here that's held in the past. So if you're looking to start a position, I can't really falter. And anybody, yep. Rob bought it. Okay, good job, Rob.
Yeah, Snapchat's
so
way
I
better
like
than
that there.
Pinterest.
Good call there. A nice little drop down here on Snapchat. So I think this is in a level of concern. So yeah, I like this. I like both Twitter and Snapchat. Pick your poison on either one of these, but I like to hear that. Good job, Rob, on picking that up. I think this one will be one for the next couple of years anyways.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to find that value. And someone was asking in the chat, do we think NVIDIA can break 300? I mean, the market's probably going to determine that. I mean, the NASDAQ getting green is going to be the thing because 300 has been a monster level all morning long. I was looking for a 300 break when we left you guys in the morning and still haven't gotten it. You're now seeing a double top here just in the afternoon, let alone the resistance that it had at that price earlier. Oh, Blink, Blink just made a move into the LNK, Neil. Blink just made a move right into that 45 level. I was able to get 94s this time. I will not look a gift horse in the mouth. I will take some profit the first 50 cents in. I did, look, I shorted it in front of 44.50 and then took nothing out when it went down to 44. Not making the same mistake. Gonna bank something when it, off the 45 short. And Tesla just, I mean, obviously you're gonna see it come back down to 1,015. Look, this can, even if it closes down here, this is still a tremendous run back into the upside. And we talked about this before. It's like that whole notion of like, it doesn't matter whether if you sold at a top, if you don't get back into it. So I sold for the first time ever some Tesla shares when it got over that 1,200 mark. And I still haven't gotten back into it thinking Elon wasn't done yet. So yeah, it's going to be decision time here probably tomorrow morning, overnight, as to whether or not I need to get back into this. Because I did think that Elon wasn't finished. And if this is a move because Elon has finished selling, well, then that might have been the best price you could have got. These prices down below 1,000, and we're not going to see them again for God knows how long.
No, regardless of Elon, you're going to see that again. Yeah. I think so anyways.
This market's too overheated not to, but...
That's... Look, I've called last week when we're almost there now. We called 3 or 4% dip. We gave some back. We could talk about the market in a minute, but I did want to go back over to Miss V. Hey, Valeria, have you been trading Tesla? What did you think about that move? And where are we with the like counts? Because I know I'm not super pleased.
Well, Sean, Tesla is crazy. Thanks for asking. Basically, it was a profitable long trade for me, but then my trailing stop got an order, and I got into short position on that huge move to the upside. Never mind. Guys, I wanted to ask you to smash the like button because we really need your support. We have more than 3,000 people watching and just 400 likes. We deserve your like, and so please do it right now. Back to you, Sean.
All right. Yeah, I think that would be pretty sweet if we got a few more likes on there. We're trying to solve the YouTube game, Ms. V. We're trying to solve the YouTube algorithm right now as we go. So if you could see your, I didn't even hit the like yet. There it is. From some 300 to 600. So a nice little quick double up there. Thank you so much, guys. We're back live, man. We used to come back at 3 p.m. Now we're back at 2 p.m. Go over some of the trades. Like Brendan said, think about some more macro ideas for you. Yeah, it should be fun. So please continue to support the show. And we know in that way that we're doing a good job for you. So please, if you could do that or become a member, $5 a month, an easy way to support the show as well. Yeah, that Tesla, oops, that's the daily chart. That Tesla here, here's the 1 minute chart. Yeah, wow, what a fun little ride there. To me, selling Tesla is going to be a mistake if you get out of your long, especially at this $1,000 level. But we're here to day trade. So you know what? Look at this. We've held. So if there's going to be profit taking, let's just zoom out a little bit here. Forget about all this, what happened down there. We missed that trade. But if this comes back in, you could probably buy this 1010. It seems like we're defending this 1010 area here. Last time we dropped, we only got to 14. It looks like we wicked down to about 12 there. That's to be expected on a lot of increased volume. Remember, this is still a $1,000 stock doing 30 million shares. You know, that's a lot of capital being thrown around here in the market. Obviously, there's a lot of hedge funds and algos and things like that throwing money around. But I think that if you look at a chart, or sorry, at a chart, yeah, a 1 minute time frame here, that this 1010 might be some sort of levels of concern. It was right there, 1008. Then we dipped down to 1010 there. And since then, we've been refusing that. So I think a pickup around here is pretty good. 10-12. I'm going to stick a bid at 10-12 for Tesla. We'll see. I mean, we might not get picked up. It's $8, but if we do, I think that's worth it. And then a hold a little bit lower than this 08 or so here. Let's see if we can take a risk on Tesla. We'll put a bid at 10-12. At this point, it's a stink bid, but maybe it comes in and we get filled near these wicks. So 10-12X, here it comes right now. It was just at 10-20, now back to 10-16. Look at the bid though. The spread, guys, about $1 when it opens up. So be wary of that.
And as I'm watching this, like as I watch Tesla, get back to 24, 25, and pop down to the teens, I'm noticing the same thing in Blink. Like it got back up to 45. I took some profit on the way down. I'll probably take it all out at 44. Rivian sort of going back and forth, 44 to 46, and they're all doing it at the same time here, it does seem. At this particular point, given how strong this move is with volume across the board, I'm going to reverse to the long side on Blink if it breaks at 45. I know I've only really shorted it so far. I did have that one long for trying to break out earlier today at 43 instead of the dip buy. Like it went over with Boeing. It just feels like it's a dip buy type of market sometimes, and certainly shorting the tops and going long at bottoms is definitely a way to go. I like breakouts in general. It's just they have not been the best, but 45 is definitely scalpable. There's 45 minutes to go in the session, so plenty of time for this to give you a little bit of a run here, and especially if Tesla's going to be taking out these highs. So let's see what happens. I did already bank some on this short, on the 94 short, but a reversal to the long is definitely in the cards for me there. And then just, again, this is, it wasn't participating before, and Tesla stole, again, you probably got a little distracted here. I wanted to wait for 14 on GGPI. Tesla makes its move, GGPI goes down to 14.15. That was the chance to catch the bottom instead of the 14.50, and might have missed that one opportunity. So I'm not going to chase GGPI. It was relatively weak the entire time. I think it gave you that one shot. I hope somebody got that in front of 14. Just felt like a much better level. And again, part of the reason I liked it, because, hey, that was the best fill we could get when we were shorted in the morning, that 14 print. So higher low here for GGPI. Polestar. Getting a bit of a bid, still up 15% or 14.5% on the session, but had not participated until it had to touch that 14.
Brindo.
Trader Pratt is sharing fries at the moment with the production crew. Peloton Interactive continuing its post-earnings destruction. There was this note that came out this afternoon here. Tiger Global Management cutting their stake in Robbie. Thanks. By 18.5% as of June 30th to 7.2 million notional, 7.2 million notional in shares. So Peloton, 3.5% there, guys.
I'll be too busy crushing fries over there?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong with that.
It's super chicken fries.
Yeah, I don't know. This is the thing about Trader Pratt. I don't know if I got to talk to Trader Pratt about this, because the thing is, like, you don't always have to get the combo. Because if you don't like the fries,
which he says he doesn't like the fries,
then you just like
get the chicken, man.
Kids these days. Yeah. Anyway, shout out to Trader Pratt. Thank you for sharing the fries with our wonderful technical team. Maybe you guys can get a picture there. Show the fries there, Robbie.
They're okay. I mean, they're solid fries. They're not. I think they're a little heavy, almost like two battered.
There he is. There, yeah. Rob's loving those. You can see him there. Good job, Rob. Thank you so much for that one. And I don't even remember what we're talking about. Roblox, however, though, thank you for bringing this up in the chat. Roblox, for some reason, just went ham at the same time. I mean, what time was Tesla?
What?
234. Hold on a second. What time was the Tesla move to the upside here?
Big move in the
exact same time? Almost.
Was there a big move in the
I don't know. Was there a metaverse move here? Let's go over to no, so there's nothing on Facebook. But anyways, just funny that Roblox and Tesla almost, it looked like almost the same time there, started going off. So yeah, we can see what's going on with that. But Tesla right now and Roblox upside. Let's go back to Roblox. We did take a bid early on them, and then we tried it one more time and lost. Roblox, a plus name for us today. So no loss for us on this name. I love this name. We're still long $77 pre-earnings. We talked about why we're long on this name. I still think it works. It seems like it's top heavy. We did sell some about these levels on Friday here. Let me check. Where's the 20 period? We did get out. I got out of 15% of my initial long. They're just, yeah, so same prices right in here on Friday, 106, 107, something around there on Friday. We didn't get this high. That's today, yeah. So we've already been to 110 here. 110 seems to be the area. This is why we got out. It seems to be the area of concern here, this 110 or so. So if we can get back up there, I think it's a short until we're wrong. But right now, Roblox making moves, man. We'll see tomorrow, but this has been a heated stock. for sure off earnings. Gave you a nice dip buy, sub 100 on Friday, and then ripped up. You can see here the end of the day, we finished 107. Here's the sub 100 down here off open, and then just ripped up to 107, showing you strength. And then today, they show strength again, trying to open up near all-time at or is all-time highs on that open, but then it faded the rest of the way. We picked up a dirt bottom down here at 106. Nicely done for $2. Tried it again at 105.50, got out at 104.50. So in for $2 winners, out for $1 loser. That's my story on Roblox today, as it's trying to take out 107.50.
Yeah, and NVIDIA tries to hit that 300, waited all day for this trade, and then, of course, it's basically stalling out. I mean, it got up like, I don't know, like 300, like 30s or 40s up there. I was able to get 15s on the break. I'm going to give this one back to support. You know, it did hold VWAP, but I'll give it back to the support here, like 298.5. On the other end of the spectrum, well, it's not the other end of the spectrum, I suppose, but back into EV names, not just Tesla around here, guys. Rivian, right back up, and I've canceled my 150. I did have a stop order from when we shorted this one, and when I got out at VWAP, I was a little bit late in canceling it, but it is now making another run up to that 150, and this is without Tesla. So Tesla's back down in those teens, pulling back a little bit. Rivian continuing its run, so strong move here in Rivian. I think it went to 150.40, so I kind of think 150.50 is going to be your top. If it does stall out there, I'll probably take a shot. Yeah, why not? Like, you know, give it like a 149.80 or 149.90 if you can get there with a relatively tight stop. Otherwise, we'll stick to the NVIDIA trade. See if that one, if it can bounce off that support, 298.5, I might pick up a few more shares there. But you know, gonna give it some time to go. I don't know that I want this. If I'm seeing like possible sell imbalances in the market and it can't, because the NASDAQ. I mean, the NASDAQ's sitting right here, basically flat on the session. If we start to see like sell imbalances overall, indicative coming through, I don't like this NVIDIA breakout. But certainly if we get some buy imbalances, NASDAQ turns green, NVIDIA should be poised to make a bit of a run. But that 150 on Rivian, I'll give it one try to the short side, but it's got to be a really, really tight stop. I want 49.70 or maybe 49.60 with the absolute worst, just to make sure we don't give too much back.
Yeah, so I just put there, yes, AMD Softy making a run. I do have Microsoft off here. We'll take a look at this. I mean, things just took off here in the afternoon on this side of things. So, wow, good trade here for Microsoft. Great call. But I mean, you can see today that was all-time highs at 340, I believe, on Softy, but faded back in. And now today we're finally starting to get back to green here on the NASDAQ. So that's nice. The S&P's red as well. So, wow, a red day to talk about that. There was a name I wanted to talk about. I don't remember what it was.
Was it Peloton?
No, it wasn't Peloton. Oh, I don't know what it was, but we'll talk about this one now quickly. No, I don't know what it was, but who cares? Right now, we'll come back to this. I just want to say, tonight we're going Christmas tree shopping. So we actually have it's not shopping. We know this place we go to. We get a real tree. So I should have actually put, you know what? Tomorrow's poll will be real versus fake. Okay, so we've done real now for, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7 years, something like that. I mean, I really prefer the real. Obviously, the cleanup's not as nice, but you know, I don't really have to worry about that too much. So here we go. Tree time. So I feel like it's too early for a tree, but
no.
Now that I think about this, it's already the 15th. Then you can vote, Rob. So just playing around. Okay, so I think it is, but now that I look, it's already November 15th. Normally, I think, you know, U.S. Thanksgiving tends to be a time to put the tree up, but what do you guys think? Yeah, tree time right now or too early? So right now, the too early wins, but I feel like for Canadians, people would be checking tree time, but U.S., because of the Thanksgiving factor, we had Thanksgiving a month ago, so that's why, but that would have been too early. Some people have it up November 1st.
But I mean, we do U.S. thing because we essentially take our time off for U.S. holidays because we trade the U.S. markets primarily, and that's what the show is. So for us, I mean, putting up U.S. Thanksgiving is our time to put the tree up, and it has been ever since I've been trading. I don't think that's going to change. My vote's a little bit different. Like I prefer real, although because my mom has issues with like real trees, it's just like whatever. Like, she's like sneezing and whatnot. So we do a fake tree at our house, although I do have a strong preference for real. There is the 45 break on Blink, so it looks like. There we go. We were able to take a scalp trade out. I probably could have covered the entire thing at 44.25, but I thought we'd get down to 44. I reversed into the long. Good thing we banked some profits. Let's see how far it can go here. I mean, NVIDIA, I just missed a dip buy on NVIDIA at 99s there, and it's trying to get through that 300, but Blink took out that 45 finally. Let's see what happens. Rivian is getting very close, 148.75, still churning towards that high, that 150 top.
Yeah, the thing is, we also watch every year, of course, we watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and so today I'll be cutting the bottom of the tree and things like that today. So we'll see. Hopefully, I get a tree that fits in the house. We have like 13-foot ceilings in the main room, so I think that should be fine. But okay. Anyways, we'll see that. It doesn't really matter what the poll says. My wife's messaging as we speak that we're going, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's been decided, right?
Yeah, so that's a wrap. We are getting a tree, and I'll try to tweet that out later on. It's my kids absolutely love it, so it'll be a fun thing for us to do tonight. Is getting said tree. Okay, Microsoft on the way back up. Let's check out Apple. Is that above 150? Yeah, so just now above 150. Come on, that's our Microsoft chart. This one a little bit more barcoding than everything else. Apple's gonna follow the NASDAQ, almost to a T most days. Nice bottom being made, a nice bottom. Trying to take out some of these tops. I don't actually mind this. I think the NASDAQ does turn here today back to the green side. Just has to take this out. So very much like Apple, you get a high right there. You're trying to make out some highs, and then look at Apple right here. That's that high that we just talked about in the NASDAQ, making it. So I think if we break above 150.25, we're going to punch our long ticket for Apple. So 150.25 long on Apple. I'm waiting for that to come through.
Yeah, and very, very quickly there, we'll do this one because I just like that graphic. There, 45 break. We like the reverse on Blink. We said we liked it, but I'm going to scalp these trades out. We have 35 minutes to go to the close, so obviously going to get in and out. One of the reasons why is there's that 150 level on Rivian. It just churns through. Now, there was almost no chill in that, so I mean, I'm not going to jump in front of the sword. I wanted to see it bounce off 150 and get a tight stop, but instead, we're breaking out. It's breaking out on Rivian, it's breaking out on Blink, but Tesla, oddly enough, is doing nothing again. So it's weird. When these things start to accelerate, Tesla slows down, which is not what I was expecting after that big move up in Tesla. I got out of Blink in front of 46. I think if it takes out 46, I'll probably just start, breakout scalping every single even dollar.
Okay, well, this is going to be really easy there. We just took a $9 winner on Rivian, and we're going to give about $1 back. We are short 150.75 there. There it is, right back out. So we did take another shot there, but as you can see, very, very defined as Rivian. Now, I'm not done with this, but needless to say, take another shot right now and give it a little bit more. Did we just blow out the top there? We might have just taken the top print at 151 or 152 break there. We'll see. It's bouncing around. I mean, the spread is 50 cents when it gets moving, and even more than that when it doesn't. So, once it starts breaking key levels. So, wow. What is that top there? 152.50. Okay, let's go. I mean, this is a pretty typical trade for me. 152.51. If we break it, the top, then we'll get out and see what happens. But 153.01. Let's do 153. So we'll try it right now and see if we can go. So we'll short Rivian right now. We are short again using 153-ish as our out. We'll take one more take into this one. And just to see, man, I think it's well worth it. We've cleaned up Rivian today. You can see we just took a monster win. What a good out that was, man. 142. We called 138. We miss it by $1. Then we have to pay up $4 for that miss. So right now we're back short Rivian.
And that GGPI also making a break through 15, through VWAP there. It's actually trying to hold up now. Now, obviously, it's been relatively weak all afternoon, making that bottom at 14 even. So, catching a turn here. I'm just watching corner of my eye. I missed the breakout on Blink at 46. Wasn't quite fast enough to get that one in. So only got the 45 break long after reversing the short. I am thinking if I'm going to take one of these to the short side, it might be Polestar. But I want to see, Blink have pulled back through 46. I'd like to see Rivian, at least failing off that high, and then take the name, which has been relatively weak all afternoon, as opposed to taking those highs out like Blink is. But those are very, very tradable stocks. Nvidia is right back to almost 300. I did miss a chance to dip by it. And the NASDAQ still 0.03 to the downside. And like I said, I don't think that trade in Nvidia is doing much of anything unless the NASDAQ turns green. And imbalances coming out at 350 could really tip the scales there. So I might need to be covering that one in the next 15 or 20 minutes or so, regardless of if it moves or not. But GGPI slowing down here at VWAP. This could be the one I like for a rollover. It gets back below that 15 level.
Okay, Tesla. You know what? I'm going to cancel. I'm going to cancel that Tesla. I did put a bid in there on Tesla. We can. I mean, just because I'm short right now, Rivian, I don't want to deal with both these monsters at once. Tesla, and again, that's some of the questions we get asked. Like, how do you deal with all of these at one time here? Here's Tesla. We were looking for a 112 bid. It didn't really come close there. But again, like when it comes to 115, man, 112 is pretty close. So we'll cancel that order. But I still don't mind that. Let's just wait to see. I need Rivian to come down. So if that happens, that's great. So here comes Tesla right in again. So let's just cheer on our Rivian trade. We are short right now. It did go in the money for me about $1. Forget about that week. That never happened. It went in the money about $1.30 for me as soon as we took it. Here we go. So just for an example, we're already in the money more than we lost on that trade, right? So as I said, we're cleaning it up. That's a 150.80 out in. We're out at 152.30. So that's $1.50 right there, right? We're already in the, well, we were in the money when it dipped down there, $1.50. So here's the trade right back in. Just looking at this, again, I don't know if we get the flush all the way down here, but I look, you know, we should take a 147. So we'll take a 147. If it does come in, we'll feel lucky enough to get that 147.50 on Rivian. We'll see if we can get a bid there to take this play out for $4. If that happens, great. If here it comes. If not, then we're going to take another short anyways against 153. So 153 is going to be our out. Well worth the risk profile. We're already in the money right now to counteract that risk to 1-to-1. So if you want to take it, do it. But I'm going to wait downside here, 147 and change for Rivian, and hope that that gets hit at some point.
Yeah, I just got into that Polestar GGPI there, and watching Blink very closely as well, is that just rejected the high of the day at 46 even. It got to almost 46.5, so it was a decent, if you took the 46 break, I think as a scalp trade, then certainly you could have a bit of a winner there. It didn't follow through a full dollar like 45, but I do think that this, if we start to pull back, I think 45 is that first level of support that you might be able to find there, and then maybe 44.5. For reasons stated, GGPI is where I decided to go to the short side of the trade. And if you're following Tesla, it is just, again, I mean, doing absolutely nothing there up at that top. There were a few other names, I guess, related in the space. One of them that got a downgrade today is just checking over some of these names that were movers before. EVgo, just absolutely nothing. So that's another sign of weakness. They got the downgrade. They're down 15% or 14% on the session and didn't really catch too much of a bid, not getting back up to VWAP, not even breaking afternoon supports. That's the kind of thing that makes me a little pessimistic about them going into tomorrow, to be certain. GGPI basically flat right now, holding below VWAP. So I'm waiting for it to make a top, get back below 15, and then hold these levels here. I'll give it to about those quarters. Otherwise, I got bids at these clusters here, 1480, and then down here, 1460. And if it gets to about 14, call it like 1440 to 50, I'll likely get the rest of those out. Do have about 20 minutes, just under 20 minutes until imbalances come out. I'll be interested to see what the EV sector, of course, does, and some of the clean energy names that are listed in the indexes, what kind of imbalances those have, because the trade has been wild, led by Tesla, though now, I mean, Tesla is sitting the rest of this out. You can see this, well, ignore these wicks, not doing a heck of a lot. If it does dip down, it looks like, you know, I still like the notion of that 1,006 to 1,010 for a bit of a dip buy, but GGPI is where I'm picking my short.
As you guys can see there, we are, I mean, we've been like very cerebral with our shorts here today, picking the right spots, I feel like. And then here we go. Again, we just had another $1.50 on Rivian and didn't take it. So this may continue here, but we'll give it another chance. And I'm going to get out at 147 before the imbalances come out. I feel like they may be strong on this one, as they say. So we'll wait to see here with Rivian. Was that Brendo?
Dollar Tree, guys, the one we were talking about this morning, DLTR up 15% still, or 14.5% still. Starting to curl back up here again. It held this 128, 129 area all midday long. We're starting to head back towards that last high, 130.5 for DLTR.
All right.
And Dollar Tree was a big miss. Certainly, we like that Dollar Tree to the long side. Just never found my way into the trade, which is another part of it. You got to have the executions. I know a lot of people are looking at laser here. And in the midst of this move, it hasn't been able to take out the top, and I think that's why it hasn't been as interesting. There was a failed break at 22 even a little bit earlier in the session. It bounced off VWAP, and then once this has happened, I don't really love. If it makes a consolidation and then a breakdown, you can be shorting off a lower high. Otherwise, you're waiting for what? You're waiting for a break at the top, unless you're in the dip at VWAP, or you're waiting for a short off of the high of the day, right? So it hasn't given you either of those things, although now it looks like with some of these tops getting made, except for Blink, by the way, which just took out a fresh high as well. Some of these pullbacks coming in, because I noticed GGPI starting to fall back in the money, and I noticed Rivian starting to pull back below 150. Laser could find some weakness here through that top at 22 even, or 22.10, which is the current high. So, I haven't really seen too much of a trade until now in this stock. We're not really ignoring it. It's just, this is a day trading show, so we're going to watch the ones that are at levels that we think are actionable.
Yes, Goldman, I did buy PayPal, and Neil's talking about laser right now, so that was good. And I bought PayPal, I told you, 203.50 the other day, PayPal. So that was a good one for me. I don't know where, well, we know where it's at today. It was at 212, 211. I'm not sure where it's at right now. We can look at PayPal in a minute. So here we go, man. I canceled my 147.50. Canceled it. We're in the money, $2 plus right now on this name as it's continuing to go to the downside right now. $2 on the offer right now for this trade here. And again, I don't have a problem going long, going short on Rivian, but today we've just been short the whole day. So we crushed along the last couple bits, and then now today, here we go down to 149, $3 now in the money if we crack through 149. So that's going to be a good trade again, man. We just took $8 there. We're $3 in the money. We did give back $1.50 right there. You saw that trade live, and you saw this trade live. So here we go, man. Anything purple is a down tick. Please hit the like if you're watching this show. This is a free show. Every day, man, 1,000, that's nice. I think we can get to 1,200, 3,300 people watching. If you could turn this guy black or blue or red, whatever it is on your computer there, I know it's different on mobile, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much. We're executing here. We're talking, trading, hopefully going over the right names for you there. Mara. So look, I see a lot of people talking about Mara, but you already know the story with Mara. It was a share offering, was it not?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, we're down here on Mara, or we were down. Yeah, I was going to say, how's we up 15%? That's Rivian. So we are down on Mara today. Huge, right? Huge movement to the downside on Mara. I don't really know why it's this large. I'll have to find out more. I don't own the shares. I'm just focused on crypto and crypto only. I don't really trade any of the names there, but you could see it's been a disaster for Mara to the downside. So I guess it was an oversized offering that maybe it wasn't received, not maybe, I guess it wasn't received well. I don't know where the offering price was. To me, it makes me think it was probably, like it starts today at 77. Maybe they did an offering at 65 or something like that. Let's go to Brendan. He'll have the details.
There's a couple things, actually. Yeah, $500 million in convertible notes. So that was this morning. But then this came out as well, guys. So there's an SEC, or SEC, I should say, subpoena that they disclosed in their 10K or 10Q filing, which is their quarterly. My internet is like unreal this afternoon. There we go. So there it is. Yeah, SEC subpoena related to 2020 hardened data center agreement disclosed in their 10Q filing this afternoon.
There we go. So yeah, some people talked about that as well on the chat. So thank you guys, and thank you, Brendan.
You don't see the Big Ten doing investigation. I'm just kidding.
The Big Ten? Oh, yeah, I know. The SEC, yeah. They won't be investigating Bitcoins there. Obviously, MSU fan to my right. Okay, PaySafe, just doing nothing. Oh, this is what I want to check in when I was like, I want to check back on something. It was Palantir, man. And unfortunately, it goes as high as 42. Like, I'm laughing because this is not a big position. I trade Palantir all the time. We're long here at 36. It's coming back in. We're going to give this to 25. It's not doing anything. You got to hit the trade early on Palantir. It seems like that every day. They get the momentum going, and then it tends to die. So I don't know, man. We'll wait to see if Palantir gets going. The only thing that might save this is a share offering. Tesla's to the downside. We are not share offering. Oh, sorry. A share buyback. It's already on, and Kathy Wood buying the shares, but that's enough about Palantir. Okay, so Rivian, we still have that trade on. It did tick down as low as 149 for us. We're short 152, so that was about 250 or so in the money.
That's the start.
Yeah, we see you there, Rob. You're such a funny guy in the background there, Rob. But we see him. He was going back and forth with some sunglasses on there.
Oh, is that what he was? Okay.
Let's see. I don't know where he is now. He's probably gone. Okay. So there we go. Thank you
Trading
for that.
here, Rob.
Yeah, exactly. 145 is my bid. Just double check this. I do have a bid. Yeah, 145 on Rivian. So we can see if we can get back into here. We'll see if it falls. Only 13 minutes to go before it balances, which should be pretty spicy.
Yeah, and I just looked at Tesla. I mean, of course, I just reload GGPI, and that's when Tesla decides to bounce off 1,006. So, and we talked about doing like more than one thing at a time. At this time of day, I don't love the notion of focusing on too many things at once. There's 20 minutes to go. I do have to work out of the last of these Sundial shares. I'm actually on the bid in front of 82.5, and I'll probably just have to punch out. If Sundial breaks 85, I'll get out of the last of these shares, but I've been short them essentially all day long. The same thing we did on Friday, and probably the same thing we'll do again tomorrow. If every single day that Sundial cannot break through the high of the day in the open, it's going to be a 9:30 rollover trade until it's not. So that's the name of the game for me. Tesla looks like there was that bounce off of 06. I just don't. If I miss it the first time, I don't like chasing it the second time through. So I'm not gonna jump in front of this bid with only 20 minutes to go. I might have to get out of the last of these Polestar shares. Well, GGPI, I should say. Not Polestar. But if it retakes this high about those quarters, I'm just going to get out of this bad boy. It looks like it's showing some strength, Polestar, as opposed to watching Tesla come back in a little bit, watching Rivian come back in a little bit. Polestar looks like it wants to break these quarters.
Wow, Rivian now $4 in the money and still going down, so that's a good one. It's at our target right now, 148. So that's a trade you could take. $4 now in the money on Rivian. With that being said, Ford's ticking up near 20 bucks. What a great long this has been, man. I feel like I'm the automotive guy. I've been talking about Ford, GM, Rivian, Fisker, and here we go. Ford, nice move, man. We cleared some out last week near 20 bucks. But what a good movement that's been today off the open. A boomer up to 20, which was perfect. Then all the way back down to 1960 and change. So right there, you could see Ford's movement. Great movement back upside. Our last long was on this break of 13.30 as the 50 period now it's starting to get back to the upside. 50 period now, 16 bucks. So this is a good trade for us here on this one. And I don't know, man. I mean, I know I don't have too many trades on. We have Palantir. We're going to buy a little bit more at 30, give it to 25. We talked about that break. PaySafe's at the day's high right now. We bought down here on PaySafe. It's all the way up here, but we have a small piece on that one. And really, Rivian is the trade that I have on that I'm proud of. It just went to 147.50. That's literally where my order was before I canceled it. So a nice win to the downside for Rivian. We are now bidding 145.50. So we're getting a little greedy on this name here. So we'll see if we can get it. $4 in the money now on RIVN. So I like it. We'll see where it can go. But I like this Rivian trade here. 145. We should have maybe taken that $5, but we didn't. So our $4. Rivian now. We'll wait for 145.
Yeah, and then back below VWAP is, I mean, I was sitting there always giving like the worst case scenario, and then GGPI decides to go right back into VWAP and does pull back in for me. So, at that particular point, it looked like it was strong, like it was going to break out, and we got that reload in front of 20, and we're back down to 15, so we're going scalping 20 cents, and we'll try to scalp another 40 cents out of it, and then hold on to the last little bit. So these are the two that we got on here. I did give up the NVIDIA trade. I said there was a sell imbalance forming. It was an indicative sell, just from the early looks here, just what could be happening on the NASDAQ. And then we weren't really moving, and the NASDAQ has since done, I can show you guys, yeah, the NASDAQ since done this, which is pull back in after making another run at that 16.2 mark. So I just got out of that NVIDIA. It doesn't look like it wants to break, and I'd rather be in something that's moving going into 350. So GGPI is doing that. Tesla is continuing its fall to the downside here a little bit. Whoops, still on the market there. Continuing its fall down to that 1,008. I didn't get that 1,006 the first time it dipped through, so I decided not to take it the second time. Blink gets all the way up to 47, so that 46 break ends up being pretty good. I didn't get the 46 break. It doesn't go lower than 45.70 and then manages to go $1. So that's a pretty solid breakout, even though I didn't have it. We did have the 45 long. That's a hard turn at 47, so definitely an actionable level to watch tomorrow. Crazy, crazy movement. I kind of feel like we get some good retail earnings this week, but yeah, man, it's still all about the EV and the clean energy. So those have been the movers. Polestar, once again, we'll do, man, I'm on the Gronk spike here because I'm on that page. Although I still have to dodge 24 points from Brandon Ayuk before I can actually celebrate a victory, Sean. So, but I can Gronk spike GGPI. Just got the second leg out again at 1480. Gonna hold the rest, see how far it can go down to the close. Of course, I don't think it's breaking 14 even by any stretch of the imagination. But I need Debo and Kittle to do the heavy lifting for San Fran.
Well, they're against LA, so we'll see. There should be. It'll be interesting to see Odell Beckham.
Is he playing?
Yeah, should be. Robert Woods is gone, right? So we'll wait to see on Odell Beckham's debut tonight for the Los Angeles Rams. What's up, Brandon?
We were talking about that Tiger Global cutting its stake in a few names going back to last week. They also disclosed new positions, guys. One of those was this one, Robinhood. Not really doing anything today, but they picked up a whole bunch of Robinhood and Warby Parker as well, the glasses retailer, off of earnings. So Tiger Global, not necessarily going to be on the level of ARK, but also another one that frequently kind of updates their positions to the public.
Yeah, that Warby, didn't they get beat up a little bit? I feel like we...
No, I don't think. I think it was a good report. They reported last week,
they?
so I think it was one of those decent reports there. As I look here, Disney back down to 158. Wow, that just keeps on getting crushed. I'm just looking at my own portfolio here. We got out of some Disney at 175 the day before earnings and tweeted that out. We tweeted out that the danger was to the downside on the earnings. I didn't think that there was any chance that they beat anything, and I just wish I would have got out of them all instead of just some right here at 175. So we actually got out at 175 the day before, or like this time before, or no, it was in the afternoon before earnings, and we got out of that, tweeted it out, and then it dropped all the way down to 158 right now and still going lower. I'm not a buyer of Disney till about 150 maybe, just because it's psychological, but I really think that we probably settle out, especially if the market does keep ticking down here. I think a 140, 45, something like that for Disney comes through for sure. So we'll wait for that. That's been horrible. That's a dead stock in the market right now. Rivian, a big win. Spin it.
Money.
Spin them wheels. As it's going to the downside, Rivian just keeps on making moves. And yeah, it's making money moves, Cardi B style right now, as we're going back down to the downside. I may just take this out. I mean, this is $4 in the money right now for me. We took one shot at 150. We lost $1.50. So net, this is going to be $2.50 right here on this name. And again, you know, I don't know what shares you guys are doing with, but I'm pretty happy with this play. So we'll wait to see if it can come through again for us. But right now, 147 and change. Maybe we should just put a trail on this one. I mean, I don't like using trailing stops, and on Rivian, I get that that's going to be pretty dangerous, but we are bouncing up. I mean, maybe a 140. I don't know. We won't trail this. We could do a hard stop at 149 right here. I do have a bid 145 and change. So let's just up that. Let's go to 146.30. Another $1 down, and we'll get out of Rivian. We'll ring the Reggie on this one. This is going to be a big trade. I don't need to see these imbalances. It makes no difference to me. Even if this drops all the way down, I'm just trying to teach you guys. These are the shorts, man. I've been a short killer today on this name, so we'll keep playing it. My number one stock today is Rivian. We did have AMD. Beautiful trade here on AMD early. This was a keystroke error that we came in on this, not a keystroke error. We left this stop order out. We actually made money on it, but we took these dip buys on AMD. This was a killer for me. So AMD and Rivian today, my top two stocks. So we'll put a bid. It's at 146 right now. I mean, let's just put a bid 140. I don't know, 146.50 and get out of Rivian, guys, and call it a day. So 146.50 on Rivian. Really proud of this trade. Hopefully you guys have this with us.
Yeah, I'm all out of Sundial. Just got to cover. It's 15 minutes left in the day. I still have GGPI, which is the one we're going to let run a little further down. As the market is starting to come in, it's threatened to go positive and barely touched flat in the day in the NASDAQ and is rolling back over. Sundial, that doesn't really matter, but it just missed going SSR since that earnings, I guess, bonanza, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It really was just a gap up in Sundial, and it still has yet to retest 80 cents. They do get, I think they have until the 22nd, I believe it is, to get back above $1. Still in play, but 80 cents doesn't come in today. That's your support level for tomorrow. But it's the same plan until not. If it wants to make another gap up, it's a fade in front of $1 until it breaks $1. Otherwise, I'm going to do the same thing every single day on Sundial, which it just keeps on giving you gifts, guys.
So just so everybody, okay, now it's below. Again, you know, I'm not worried about like people saying that, you know, our outs, because maybe people can't believe the kind of success that we have here, which is fantastic. I take it as obviously a compliment, but there it is. We just got out. I hit the siren rate when it happened, and when it came back to me, we were out. So whether or not you want to take it now or not, I'm out of Rivian there. I took the 147.30 right there. That tick did happen, and right down. And then when we came back to you, it was down 146.80 was the very bottom. So we are out of Rivian there. Let me just make sure I cancel my offer, my bid to go lower in case it does slam down, but that's not going to happen. So we will cancel our upside target right there. out of Rivian. We did not wait for that very bottom. So I'm pretty happy with obviously the trading there on Rivian. Nice trade. We'll see where it goes now. But if you want to get out, I'm now out of Rivian with only 3 minutes to go before the imbalances. To me, not worth it. If it is to you, go ahead. But I didn't want to sit there and hold this Rivian too much more. That's a good trade. We smoked out there. What was it? Let me see the final bid. $4.49 on that Rivian trade. So that was a good one for me.
And just there is a few things that are going to close to their highs. Hopefully, I'm not jinxing Newegg here. Like it actually made a run at $20. Like we said, it was one of the quiet. There's a few stocks that were quiet gainers, and Newegg is certainly one of them. I'm just going to point out that $20 level that was the top today, 1984 to be a little more precise. That was a recent high here on the daily chart for Newegg. You're going to see it better exemplified here on the 15 minutes. So Newegg, that is an obvious breakout potential at $20 tomorrow. We're going to be highlighting this level. We're definitely watching it. As always, I'll go either direction off a level like that. I don't mind going short first, and then if it fails, like Sundial, right? Like I would have taken a long if Sundial broke $1. I'll take a long if Newegg breaks 20. I'm just likely to short it if we're below that price tomorrow. Double top here on the 15-minute. Looks when the bounces come out, I might just get out of GGPI. There's a bit of a buyer here at 75, and then again at 72. And I am trying to take about 50 pennies on this bad boy. It's only a $15 stock, and we're running out of time. Got to be flat by the end of the day. We're obviously not going to get the Newegg break at 20 even in the next 10 minutes, I don't think. But there is always the chance that for those of you that can trade aftermarket, if it does make that break there, it probably has at least a little bit of a run in the aftermarket. Now, sometimes these things don't go until the aftermarket when there's less order flow through, less resistance, I suppose, at that $20 mark. So it could open the floodgates there. I'd prefer it breaks tomorrow because then we can hammer it at the open, but beggars can't be choosers. I can't control when it happens.
No, one of the trades that we got out of here for you guys early on, of course, was this Tilray trade. Got out. It ripped all the way back up to where we were in and took profit. So if you held that, that's great. But it's right back down to our kill spot. What's up, Brendo?
I'm just seeing a spike there in AMC, guys. You can see trying to get back towards day highs. Big volume came in there at 43 once again. I'm just seeing Investor Business Daily apparently has named AMC a new buy. So IBD, which is an older but I know very closely watched investor type website, talking about AMC on the buy side, guys.
There you go. We saw AMC make a bit of a run. I mean, I was in the long side of the trade. It didn't end up working out that well because I only added on the 43 break. But if you took it back at that support level, the dip buy, when we got distracted by some of the EV names at 3 o'clock, yeah, if you took it back at that 42.4, looks like that held up pretty well, and it's right back to 43. So if you stuck with AMC as your trade, it definitely held that support. I decided to go over to the EV space, where it made a heck of a lot more sense, and I can't regret it because the Blink reversal long was pretty good for $1, and now GGP is going to end up working out as well. So AMC on volume, it is in the midst of a move. Obviously, it's got some room to run here. If you go to the 15-minute, it's kind of, look, it'll have this level to get through, which is the 43.5 that you're staring at almost today as the high. And then from there, you got 45, 46. So there's some runway in the next couple of days. It's a nice stair step up. You got a double bottom, you got a consolidation break, and then we're basically filling in the gap from the 8th back over last week. So good move for AMC. I wish we could have done more with it in the afternoon show or even during the day. I kind of missed out on that one all session long because EVs were the name of the game today, and I feel like that's going to be the theme for the week. Unavoidable.
Yeah, some people asking about what thoughts on Home Depot earnings. I mean, this is the thing about Home Depot. As you can see, we're just barcoding up here on the high side. So I don't know. Like if this was heading into the summer, I think that they might guide higher, and then therefore you get a nice beat. But I'm not too excited about this quarter. We'll see. I mean, a raise in interest rates is going to put pressure. And I know they're tapering right now, and I know there's really I believe they probably raise once or twice next year. We'll wait to see what they wind up doing. But I feel like a raise in interest rates obviously not going to be good for the end consumer, which is not good for Home Depot because they have, again, so much of their money is spent on, renovating, people buying homes, flipping them, things like that. With an increased mortgage, I guess, interest rate will affect mortgages, which may be a negative catalyst there for Home Depot. But I don't see any reason for this thing to come all the way back down. They tend to hit. So just from you can go back and look at this, from my experiences, and I could be completely wrong here, I think Home Depot pretty much always goes down on earnings, and then it gets bought back up. So I would say this name just continues to be strong. What a great buying opportunity. Obviously, Home Depot was this March as it dipped back down, March of 2021 right now, not 2020. And then it's been dipping around, but look how far past VWAP we are, sorry, the 50 period moving average we are now. This is a long way. They've had a great move back up, so I'm a little worried that it might be already priced in. So I would say probably a nothing burger for Home Depot. But if I was a shareholder, I would definitely be getting something out up here, just because if they do miss, you probably come into 350-ish, and then you'll have an opportunity to buy it back. So unlike Disney, where I see some negative headwinds, pretty good, I don't see that many for Home Depot. It should already be priced in. We know that the rate is what the rate is, so watch out for that. Contractors and stuff. I just worry that a change in the interest rate dramatically is going to affect Home Depot. So let's wait to see where we go, but I don't think I would just take some money off the top if I was already long.
I'm thinking there's going to be a buying opportunity in Walmart if they probably guide lower on supply chain issues. There was if you look at the Baltic Dry Index, which is like the shipping costs, that's actually made a ridiculous top and pulled back some, and that leads me to believe that maybe we're starting to turn the corner on some of those supply chain issues, which would be a good time to be buying dips in something like a Walmart. We'll see what happens. I mean, of course, I already own Walmart, and I want to see them drop down before I buy anymore. With only 6 minutes to go, I did just get the last of my GGPI or Polestar shares out. It does not break that 1470 support, so we buy back out in front of it, 1477. So short in the pot made some sense here. It did fail at VWAP, and then it failed to break out while in the midst of that Tesla craziness was happening. One of the weaker names here was sort of an easier one to play, I thought. And then, I was looking at NVIDIA. I think it was the right call when the imbalances looked like they were coming out to the sell side, and certainly, not very, very strong there. It couldn't sustain that break. The NASDAQ could not get green on the session. There was no need to hang on to this one, just hoping that we're going to go green. Although NVIDIA was very well poised. If we had actually turned and flipped green, I do think it would have had a chance to run. That 300 level could still be in play tomorrow, so we can always revisit this one in tomorrow's activity.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good talk. I mean, I think Walmart's gonna be a good one as well. Let's wait to see what hold on, I didn't look at it yet, but Paysay, I'm still a holder of Walmart, but the last time I bought it was 100, and I haven't bought any more, so we'll wait. I do like it. I think that, they're online. I've ordered some stuff from Walmart. They come next day, similar to Amazon.
Good.
Just think they got to advertise a little bit better. Paysafe right now, we're 20 cents in the money and sitting on the offer here. When we get back from Brendan, I just realized we didn't show you the imbalances, so when we get back from Brendan, we will.
All right, quickly, let's get a check of earnings we discussed early on. Lots of retail to deal with this week. Here comes tonight and tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we went over Walmart and Home Depot there a little bit, but Lucid Motors, obviously, you're going to report in the midst here, and it's going to be a big mover. There's a couple of other ones out there. I mean, Super League. I'm sure there's a few people involved, interested in Super League gaming, and from a day trading aspect, it's definitely going to catch. It'll catch my attention, Super League, especially given that it could have some decent volatility in it tomorrow. That's the kind of stock that 5% in either direction is almost obvious that you're going to see that.
All right, I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm just going to punch out of Paysafe here at 49. So we'll wait for that fill to come through, and we'll get out of that. I don't know. Oh, I didn't use a routing key there on Paysafe, so okay. It's just going to be pending there at 50. When it crosses, I'll get out. Hopefully it prints me at 50 and we'll get out there. Palantir right back in as well. So that's back to the upside. Now we're long at 33. We'll see where and if we can get out of Palantir at all on this. But here are the imbalances coming through for your viewing pleasure. TD Bank, what's up? We'll have to shout out to our boy, see what's going on with that. A nice little sell there of 2 million shares. Yeah, big sell for TD Bank. So this is going to be, I don't want the 1 day. Hold on, let's go to the 1 minute chart there. So there it is right there. Not really affecting anything. Dell on the sell side as well. It's like Canadian banks. Sell of TD Bank, buy of CIBC right there. So, okay, that's interesting. Don't see Canadian names on here too much.
Literally the two banks that I own.
Yeah, well, okay, I'll be fine.
No, it's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference. It's not really affecting the stock. Pfizer has a sell there, 700,000 shares. Doesn't look affecting it. Nothing's really affecting any of these right here, guys. So that is what that is. Yes, sir. Palantir starting to rip up, man. We got to get some out of this. Nice move upside for Palantir. Take advantage of this. We'll get some out at 38s if we can. Boom, boom, boom. Look, man, in here, out, in here, out. So nice wins here for PLTR to finish off the day.
And guys, Mara is not going to halt. Like it would have to move. Like you'd have to move like a 10% in the 5 minute. Like it's not falling. It's falling a lot, and I know it's dropping pretty heavily into the close. But this is not going to trigger a halt. If it did at this particular time, it would then open back up at 4 o'clock because it's too late in the session for like any of your regular 5 or 10 minute style halts. But yeah, that's not going to halt. It's going to trade till the close here.
All right, and we done on Palantir. Oh, almost got it, almost got it, almost got it. We're just slowly getting pinged here to get out of our Palantir. And there it is, man, 38. So we'll clean that out. Just one more fill and I'm gone on this. I just keep getting ticked out there. There it is. So there's the fill. And that's how you know, like, we have some decent shares. Like, I'm getting, filled as it starts to get filled on this side. So there's Palantir out. We got out 38s off that. A nice move up there on Palantir off a bump up here at the end of the day. So a nice move there. So happy with that trading. Happy with everything today. We're going to finish with 0 LFT at the highest spot we've been at all day now. Where does Roblox finish? 108. Wow, congratulations on that. That's a money trade all day for Roblox. Buying these bottoms was a great trade for us. AMD as well, back up to 146. Buying these dips was great as well for us today. So we'll see if we can rinse and repeat a lot of these trades tomorrow. The trade of the day is coming up after. It's going to be on Rivian. So we've absolutely destroyed. Like, look at that last out we had there on Rivian as it came all the way back in, man. Rivian, a great trade for me today. My number one stock. These are all shorts, believe it or not. Like, how could you win on Rivian when it's going to close at the high of the day and the only thing I've been doing is shorting? Well, if you wanted to know how, watch the trade of the day or just watch me live every single day, and I'll try to explain to you why I want to get in, why I want to get out, and where the trades are coming from. So there it is, Rivian. And here's a good example. We short 150. It breaks 152, we get out, right? So that's a $1.50 hit. There's a $7, or that's a 152, out 147. So that's $5 back, a $1.50 hit to make back 5. As you can see, we have an out there off of a 1. So that's a $10 win there, $8 to be exact on that Rivian position. So far, so good. Less than a minute, Neil. I'm flat. So all's good on this side.
Yeah, got to get flat at the end of the day. Just noticing one mover right here at the close. Thank you guys for pointing it out. This is why you're the best community out there. Global Foundries pushed to $60 here at the close, so that's on the radar for tomorrow as well. It's been sort of a sleeping, I don't want to say sleeping dog, but I had a decent debut and been waiting for it to make some moves here. It's back on that radar. With under 30 seconds to go, the market, it's still got a chance, man. The NASDAQ is 0.6, 0.06. Maybe it'll actually get there in the aftermarket, but Ms. V, I believe, is on the bell. Rob is doing his best to lower it with emphatically, let's just put it that way, in his Cosby sweater. But anyways, Ms. V on the bell here in the North Carolina Blue. Let's drop it. Monday coming to a close. 3, 2, and 1.
One more time. There we go. Good job. There it is. So we are now closed. I don't know if that's not the North Carolina blue color.
Oh, you know what?
Like
it looks
the Duke color. So
it is more like Duke. I just assumed it was. It looks different on the program monitor, so I don't know.
Yeah. It's I don't know if that's a royal blue there or not.
Is that what you call it?
Let's find out what the market found out. Wound up.
TV
I
blue.
have them at 0, Brendan, for pretty much both markets. But I'm going to go with whatever.
It was
Brendan
close.
says.
Yeah, pretty much dead flat for Monday. Here we go. This is how I have things ending here. S&P did make it into positive territory, but only just. The Dow and the NASDAQ, not so much. So, I mean, can we call that extending declines from last week? TSX 0.4, Brazil was flat. Yeah, it was a bit of a nothing day, guys. Ethereum, I saw, did sell off there pretty hard. Just going into 3 o'clock, I guess it was. Down about 2%, but otherwise kind of flat.
Yeah, no, you cannot consider that extending declines. 0.02% on the NASDAQ, especially when we close sort of making a bit of a bounce at the end of the day to get back to flat. So, I don't think you can call it that. Lucid's going to be reporting. Nothing happening right now, though.
Okay, so yeah, I have Lucid up right now.
Oh,
I don't
wait,
know. It's going up and down and around.
fingers,
I don't
man.
see anything yet for Lucid, but there it is, 44.
Now it's out.
43,
Now it's
44.
out.
I still don't know if it's out, but significant demand for Lucid Air with accelerating reservations as we ramp production in our factory in Arizona is one of the headlines there, as just read to you. But whatever, we could be here forever if we're going to talk about this. What's up to Valeria? Shout out to Valeria, Miss V, V Money, and Trader Prad. Thank you guys for crushing it one more time. Nice shirt, Prad. We like that one, and looks like he's trading this earning, maybe. Thank you so much to the team over there. Thank you to Rob. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh my God, you guys actually planned that? That was the worst. I'm never throwing it ever back to them again, which is not true. We'll be throwing it back to them tomorrow. Yeah, exactly, Brendan. I'm with you on that one. Tomorrow we have a surprise for you. It's Neil taking over Brendan's spot, and Arun and I on the desk.
Wait,
So-
what?
I'm not Brendan, just so you guys know.
Yeah,
I'll do my best.
I'll be back Wednesday.
It'll be fun. Yeah. And still remote in, Brendan, to make sure you do all the work that you normally do, because
Definitely.
that is definitely
I'll be like on my phone like,
important.
Brendan, help.
Like, Brendan, I believe
how does
there's
this work in
I
Icon?
believe there's
No, just-
breaking news. So, okay.
be fine.
Anyways, join us tomorrow. Have a great day. I'm going to go tree shopping, so wish me luck. Hopefully these hands don't get too much sap on them. And we will see everybody tomorrow. Ciao, y'all.
Bye, guys.